counting all the ways I died. Everything I couldn't save, buried down, still half alive. It's got me crawling in my skin, but no one's coming out to hold me close. Pouring out the gasoline, yeah, I've been making friends with all these ghosts, and I got nothing left to lose. Fight to the fuse, yeah.
Cute and a drama only venom when I get my dues. Respect, I'm the next tycoon. Got a pad full of greens, couple M's my soon. Non-believer, do you see the confidence? Got some people waiting for me on the fence. I live it, but never see me on the fence. Best believe that when I win, it's common sense. I'm designed to fight defeat, all demise.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to we haven't done these a lot, a pre-show for tonight's broadcast of the Victorious Amateur Series. I am your play-by-play caster tonight, Becky Rita, and joining me on the desk is, of course, Salt Spreader, the spreader of salt. Are you play-by-play or color? I don't remember what I'm doing today.
A little
I'm
bit
gonna
of
be
both.
honest.
I am color today.
Okay, excellent. I feel like sometimes you're play-by-play and sometimes you're color, so
Exactly.
I'm the same way. So, it's just like, who am I? I have to ask that question every time I wake up in the morning. But we've got a couple of great rosters here tonight. First, we have Rising Tide, Typhoon, a multi-season finalist, coming back up, stepping back into the ring to get their crown. And now on the other side of the rift, we have Stunned Gaming Cosmic. And Stunned is an org that we have not seen in the Victorious League. I believe, at least I haven't seen them until this split, and they've put in a really good performance with their Cosmic roster, and they're looking to get that chip for themselves. So a lot is on the line here, but first, before we get into the games, we would like to give you a little demonstration here, folks in the audience. Have you heard about ProComps GG? We've been talking about it all split long, and now we are going to give you a little bit of a demonstration about what you can do with the ProComps GG app. So, Salt, would you like to do a little bit of a draft simulation against
All
me?
right, let's get this rolling. Let's see
All right.
who wins draft.
So when you are using ProComps, if you would like to simulate your drafts, you can see here you have some different drafting options. You can integrate it into the client. You can use this directly with ProDraft or Draft Lol and connect them to your scrims, or you can just do the simulator itself, which is what we will be doing. So let's go ahead and get in there. Would you like to be blue or red?
Let's flip a coin. See where
Okay.
we land here.
I don't have any coins nearby. Let
Uh,
me
I got one.
all right, flip us a coin.
Alrighty, I'm flipping a good old Canadian loony. What do you call
All
it?
right. Tails. Tails never fails.
Alrighty, and it is tails. Side do you
All
want?
right. All right. So I will go ahead and pick red side, I think.
All right,
I'm
we'll
gonna
pick
go
the
red.
red side.
So you are on blue. So this is gonna be
Yep.
patch 13.10 as a reminder. So let's give a little bit of a demonstration here. So what would you like as your first ban?
Alrighty, so we're just gonna go off the docket here and take away the good old Annie. Get that off the table here.
Yeah, Annie's pretty annoying. Now, I'm looking at some champion. If I don't know what I'm doing here, and I really don't, some things you can do here is you have some suggestions that the game will give you. So, if like, what are the best top laners right now? What are the best junglers? What are the best mid laners? Things like that. And I gotta say, I do think that Lee Sin really is the best right now, as ProComps has said to me, and I'll trust them. I'm gonna ban the Lee Sin.
Alrighty. So you're gonna take away the least. Then, well, hey, I'm taking a look at that automated suggestion, and Wukong looks pretty good to take off the table, so I'm gonna do that.
All right, getting rid of the Wukong. There it is. Okay, now it seems we've adapted here, and now Nico is moved up on the list of potential ban options because two junglers have been taken off the table. But I'm thinking about what is good on this patch. Kog'Maw, just get rid of that champion. I don't want to see him. I don't want to feel him in my bones.
That is completely fair. And as my last ban, someone hasn't been banned or, just nerfed in a little while. It's got to be the Gragas. Get that off the table.
Oh yes, Gragas is a disgusting champion. Now, what do I want to close out with here? There's still a few different options possible, but I gotta think, like, what is a strong B1 selection? What are some classic suggestions here? I want to get rid of some early game picks in the top lane.
Ah,
Darius, okay. I want to make sure that we get rid of, don't let a blind pick Darius through, just completely turbo stomp my top laner. I don't trust him to survive.
fair. All my Clash series have basically told me game 2 Darius always wins. But
Yep.
what I'm going to do here is grab a nice and great B1 Milio because we are here in competitive League of Legends, and Milio is the
Ooh.
best champion in the game for competitive
Oh,
League of Legends.
all right. Milio is here. That so obviously this is an opportunity for me to respond with a support pick. Something that can go with the Milio, that can go against the Milio. I think something that could be fine here is the Seraphine. Also gives me a flex option if I want to
Hmm.
move it somewhere else later in the draft. And I've got something a little interesting. Do I want to pick my
Ooh,
AD now? That's the question.
that is true.
I actually might pick my jungle here. My boy, my son, Maokai.
Ah, the wise mystical tree can be taken here. And since we have some pretty solid scaling there already with the Million, I'm actually going to grab up a Lucian as my
Lucian.
second pick. Lucian
Okay.
Million, one of the strongest lanes you can grab up here. And I'm also going to grab up a jungler here. Let's take a look, see what they are recommending me.
Oh, well, okay.
And
Yeah, let me get some recommendations here for the jungle. So here are some,
it's Nico. Well,
and
gotta give.
you may notice down here you can see some what does it complement your team with. So like the Nico specifically gives you damage, wave clear, and CC. The Kayn will give you apparently CC. I guess if you go red Kayn. Nautilus same as well. You get some high damage out of Kha'Zix, who is really good on this patch, and of course the Sejuani. So what anything interesting you here?
Well, I'm probably just gonna grab up the Nico here because it looks really good. It's also a flex pick, which gives me a lot
Ooh.
more options as the game does go later and later, or at least as the draft goes later and later.
All right, we'll pick up that Nico there. And I think uh I will go ahead and respond to your Lucian with Misfortune. You might
Ooh,
not have seen this one, but
that's a
with
classic
the
lane.
champs I have right now, uh if Misfortune doesn't have to interact and she can just click you and get money for the entire phase, and it's feeling good. All right, so what do I want
Pretty
to ban here?
solid.
Gotta hit some top laners. All right,
That is true.
give me some help here. You know what? I'm gonna keep it classic. If I want to keep my Misfortune safe, I want to try and get rid of some things that'll just get on her. So get rid of Malphite.
That is a good one. That is a good one as well. Hmm. Alrighty. So it's adjusting me to get rid of, you know, Lil Nas there. The Cassante seems like a good ban. It is also a flex pick that denies that for your B4. So I think that's what I'm going to look at here. The Cassante.
Okay, Cassante has been deleted. All right, and of course, when Malphite disappears, get rid of him too. Orn, don't want
That
to see
is
him.
completely reasonable. And then as my final man away here, probably just going to man away the good old Scion just so there's no big meatballs available for you.
All right, tanks are off the table. So now I'm stuck with a blind pick top lane, and it's giving me some okay options here. I have to consider what is available right now, what could be counterpicked here in the top lane. Not the Jax could offer some options, but it is not a great blind pick according to our friends here at ProComp. So apparently Aatrox is a blind pick. So
Ooh.
Aatrox are set. I like both of those champs, but there's nothing really to ulti with the set right now. So I think that it's like Aatrox might have a little bit of trouble getting in, but if he can find an angle, this could be a banger.
Alrighty, so you're gonna grab that one. So I'm actually gonna grab up some fun champions here. I'm gonna grab up a Cho'Gath here from my mid lane, which is a little
Okay.
funny. And then my top lane is going to be a known Aatrox counter as the Yone.
The Yone. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
trusting
I like.
whoever my top laner is. I'm trusting them. Saying, hey, you win this lane, all you, buddy.
Yep. All right. And now what have we got left here? In the mid, I gotta look for a mid laner, or I could move the Seraphine mid lane, but I don't think I necessarily will. I don't think it's too important to do that. And what exactly do I need? Procomps is giving me a few suggestions here, and honestly, I kinda maybe it's not the most ideal, but I kinda like the Silas here. So I'm gonna
Ooh.
pick myself up the Silas, and this will be you can take a look here, and now you get some insights. So for the blue, if you are the blue team, you have to, you get a little bit of an insight as to what kind of composition you've put together, more of a pick comp. And then you have to look at what the enemy is trying to do with this split, which is apparently split and siege. Uh, so you also have some breakdowns of gameplay and style and these potential scaling options. So here it says that the red team stays pretty stable across the map and that blue will scale into the later stages of the game. Here are some lanes and skirmish, some more insights there. Which fights are favored, what jungle 3v3s are favored, and then of course objective priorities as well. So uh thank you all. Good draft here. Now, personally, I don't know who wins.
It's
So
a pretty close one, to be
uh,
fair.
I'm gonna be honest. This is literally the comp that my team drafted yesterday in MetaShift. So, like, so that's kind of. I was just taking some inspiration blindly from that. But anyways, we've shown enough of this. You can see that you have a ton of options here for drafting. You know, have a lot of insights the game that these people will give you, and of course, you can use them to further your own League of Legends gaming. So, with that said, we can go ahead and set up the draft shortly, as we're going to go to a very small break as production can set up the draft screen, and then we will get into it. So, thank you for enjoying the Pro Comps breakdown, and make sure you use it yourself. That is procomps.gg if you are interested. And yeah, we'll be back in the draft for game one of our final series between Rising Tide and Stunned Gaming Cosmic.
Connect and throw in the west and the hand that's in this. Gotta back it up a high percentage. Got a heart in my sleeve, no stop. Stepping up to the sea, more shots. Getting those. I'm alive, unleashed in the fire. Out in the wild. You can never stop me. Watch me dive and free, and it's my time. Up in the stars. You'll never forget me. But not holding back on the side. Only get better with time. Ready to own what is mine. Tonight, I'm alive, unleashed in the fire. Out in the wild. You can never stop me. Yeah, I never wait up. Flowers say so they coming on the way up. A true fighter's what they always been afraid of. Cards had a close on my circle when I lay up. Switch the game every quarter like a time zone. Aim for the bus, tryna build up to this milestone. Pave the way with only items that I might own. Imagine what I'm about to do, be an icon. And the problem just the haters that I might know. It's a night show. The way I'm about to make a movie with these lights. No, the one they be like me, they can try. All gold, everything when I write. Can repeat it, every legend gotta fight. A new world when I flip, make it tight. Ain't nobody doing minutes how I like. Seat buckled up, going up like a bike. I'm alive, unleashed in the fire. Out in the wild. Up in the sky, into the light. Watch me dive and free, and it's my time. Up in the stars. With every stride, our future's bright. Cause I'm on to the next. The way I shape shifts makes them call me a threat. Running on this path, never done, no regrets. There is nothing you can do when the face on the set. You're in front of the best. Different league if you wanna get to me. I give him pedigree. Yeah, I only got a picture on the centerpiece. I'm alive, unleashed in the fire. Out in the wild. You can never stop me. Watch me dive and free, and it's my time. Up in the stars. You'll never forget me. But not holding back on the side. Only get better with time. Ready to own what is mine. Tonight, I'm alive, unleashed in the fire. Out in the wild. You can never stop me.
Welcome back, everybody, here for the Victoris Amateur Series Grand Finals between Rising Tide Typhoon and Stunned Gaming Cosmic. We're going to be jumping into the draft if we are not there already, because these teams have already hopped in. We gave them the go, and they are going for sure. And we're going to see a little bit of what they'll bring to the table in their drafts. And ooh, we have on blue side some definitely a couple targeted bans there. Taking the Shen away from Stunned Maiden OP. And we see Kha'Zix getting banned. Kha'Zix already good, even better on this patch.
Gotta agree with you there. I think he did get a huge buff with the item changes that did come through, especially, you know, the Yomu's Ghost Blade coming out as that mythic. So insane. But at the same time, I mean, having solo lane bans, targeted bans are really nice on blue side, because I do think that you have more options for bans on blue side as you're forced to ban more meta champs on the red side, right? So getting rid of some of those targets feels really nice as that blue side. And it's going to be the VAS, also a very strong AD carry off the table too.
Yeah, and the Nautilus will get denied away from Odysseus. It's kind of interesting. You don't really see support bans very often, unless it's like Milio, because Milio is kind of gross right now. But taking rid of the Milio, Kog'Maw left open, but it will not be picked. We're going instead favoring the Jinx. as our B1 AD carry of choice.
Ooh, so the Jinx here still very strong after the patch, right? She has a good sort of, item pathway with just going Stormrazor into Infinity Edge, so she gets that attack speed needed, but it's going to be the Seraphine lock-in. You locked that in our Pro Comps draft that we did try roll, and it's
wait
gonna
a
be
minute. Hey, wait a second.
Hey, wait a second.
Wait, hold up. All right, if we see the Misfortune R3, I feel like, I feel like I deserve some credit here if if Stun go for the Misfortune R3. Wow. Okay. But either way, those are just two good champions now.
That is true. That is true.
Maybe not like the peak of what you could get, but Maokai is super solid and Seraphine has some good value. And there's the Millia.
Here we go.
Was not your B2, it was your B1, but hey, let's see how Rising Tide closes it here. Maybe looking for their jungler. Heclay. Jungle.
What are we grabbing here? Big P.
Heclay. It's definitely more of a carry player prefers.
There it is, the Lilia.
Okay.
Ooh, baby, I've played with this one a few times. This Lilia is insane.
Yeah, Lilia is a fascinating pick. It's something Heclay likes to play a lot in solo queue, and it is very much a strong option here. We have good carry potential on the size of Rising Tide with the Jinx, with the Lilia, and almost certainly we'll find something else in the mid lane to help round it out. But Stunned Gaming, they won't go for the Misfortune. They're deviating from the game plan I gave them. And they're picking up the Senna. I don't know how I feel about that right now, but we'll have to see. What do you think?
So, one of Senna's best friends from before she got nerfed and, readjusted again and again and again over and over was actually Seraphine, right? Because the Seraphine can actually farm very well, has good wave clear, functions very decently as just a, shield bot and carry along those lines, provide some decent damage as well, so you don't have to, because you also have a Maokai, you don't really have to worry about itemizing that much AP, or like picking another champ that deals AP damage. You could go for a more AD-centric top and mid as well with those picks. So she does a lot. She has great role consolidation, right? She provides enchantments, she provides great engage, and if she does like the Roa Seraph's build to just be tanky, she can do that as well. But she also does have those damaging options like Leandries as well, or supportive options like, Echoes of Helia is really good on her. And Moonstone also does quite a good job with her as well, because she has very consistent heals and shields.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm very interested, because Echoes of Helia, I know it's a good item. You know it's a good item. But a lot of the games I've casted, I've never seen it at all, and I don't understand why. Maybe it's because these younger players, they didn't play with Athene's Unholy Grail, so they don't know how good this item is. But it's really good, guys.
It's really good, but it's also very good on certain champions, right? And Seraphine would definitely be one of them as well. I do think there are a lot of champs that benefit highly off of it, like Sona, Soraka. Seraphine would be those that fit into that niche. But champions like Lulu would also benefit from like Moonstone as well, right? So there's a lot of like different options that you do have, but the Sylas is going to be locked in here as that before, and there's some pretty solid ultimates to be grabbed up here. The Lilia ultimate is pretty decent on Sylas, but the key factor there is that Milio ultimate. That's the one that is really big to steal, because you have more AP, so you heal your team for more and grant them a crap ton of tenacity.
Oh, I didn't even think about that when I drafted the Sylas in our mock draft. I was just like, ooh, Cho'Gath. That's just like 0 IQ when I picked the Sylas, but that makes a whole lot of sense. And also, like, Millie Ultimate's just like a really good utility ability.
Exactly.
And being able to pull that on yourself as a carry, very good to have as that kind of option. We have the Akali in response to the Sylas, although there could be some flexibility with the Sylas, could send him into the top lane up against the Scion. I don't think they will at 4 out of 5. Stun, am I your coach now? Am I your coach now, Stun Gaming?
Looking like it. And we did see this matchup back on Monday, actually. I was able to cast the Aatrox Scion matchup, and, the Aatrox looked good until it started dying to tower. But when that didn't happen, the matchup looked really good for Aatrox, right? So it should be winning. Should be winning top side.
It should be winning. Aatrox, I've seen that matchup myself, and it really does go well for the Aatrox. He has a lot of ways to interrupt Scion, prevent him from doing damage, unless the Aatrox, like, sprints it into the enemy tower, like, flashes forward, blunders his auto attack, and then dies. Not that I'm speaking from experience or anything.
No, definitely not, right?
And then you're the jungler, and you have to watch in horror as that happen, and you're like, well, I don't know, man.
Top is last, guys. I don't think I'm coming top for the next 20 minutes. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah. one of those kind of things. But either way, looking at these two comps, you know, I feel like I gotta say that I like Stun Gaming's comp. It's literally what I drafted. So
it wouldn't be right of you to not like Stun Gaming's draft, but to be fair, I really do like what Rising Tide Typhoon does have in store for themselves, right? They have that gigantic range advantage there with the Milio Jinx.
Yep.
Sure, Senna does have that scaling range, but I just think that Milio just provides so much value to a team. And even though, like, you know, Stun Gaming does have that Maokai engage, you have a Milio. You're just like, hey, no, you don't. You don't have that engage anymore. I healed all your damage up, and my team now has a crap ton of tenacity, so we'll just be able to fight back. And they also have just great catch potential too, with just a Lilia tossing a random, you know, a good old bowling ball down the lane, catching one of your carries out. They could just die in an instant, to be fair.
Yeah, there's a lot of good pick potential, and there's a lot of good peel back. While Maokai, it can be good engage because he can click the button. There aren't quite enough buttons to click on the side of Stun Game and Cosmic, because Milio, if they play around one of two of Seraphine and Maokai ultimate, then Milio can just click the button on the one that's up, right? So
exactly,
it'll require Stunned to play very smart, play very with their ultimates, space them out a little bit. Don't just layer everything, because if you layer everything, Milio will get everybody out of jail free. So you have to sort of play a little more patiently with what you have, or just simply find the greatest flank of your life as Maokai, as you can do in a lot of different situations. So I do think that Rising Tide has really good range, really good just ability to play around what Stunned has. But if Stun gets in on to Rising Tide, they have so much damage and so much just kill threat. So I'm excited to see how these two teams square up. But before we go to a quick break here, I gotta ask, which team do you favor here? Just like no context, what comp do you prefer going into game one?
So this is just my Milio bias. I think this champion is unbelievably broken and has not been nerfed when he should have been for like 3-4 patches in a row. So I just got to give it to Rising Tide Typhoon. I just think Jinx Milio is insanely broken, and they have great scaling with Lilia and Scion as well. So I don't really think they have too many reasons to be scared, as long as they don't just hard throw early game. So I would just say that, yeah, Rising Tide Typhoon do have this because of just their gigantic X factor in the Milio alone.
Yeah, Milio is definitely a strong pick, and I think the Lilia is really good too, and especially into what Stunned has. I like the Lilia. As long as you don't get caught by the Seraphine, you are just able to freely run around and be a menace to society. And I told P-Clay, you know, in chat, in the VAS chat last week, that I would be biased for him, because on the stream he was cast on, the casters were biased against him. So I was like, I'm gonna be biased for you, P-Clay. You know, I'm gonna do you a solid. But as I am Stun Gaming Cosmic's unofficial official coach, I gotta support them and the comp they drafted here. And of course, my boy Maokai, best champ in the format, undefeated. Love the tree. So with that said, I think we can go ahead and hop to a quick break while we wait for the spectator delay. When we come back, we will be in game one of our series tonight here, potential of 5 games. So maybe it'll get there, maybe it'll be really exciting, but at least this game is looking to be a good one. So stick around, we'll have the League of Legends action coming at you right after the break.
If I'm breathing,
welcome back, everybody, here on the Rift for Game 1 of our series between Rising Tide Typhoon and Stunned Gaming Cosmic. Rising Tide on blue, Stunned on the red side. We have a little bit of a 4-man walk into the red buff to drop a ward down. Not too unusual. It looks like the enemy jungler as well will step up, drop a ward down. And ooh, Savvy actually had the sweeper there. We'll get that. Probably should have honestly let Aatrox get that, all things considered, but, you know, plus 10 gold, so it's actually a victory.
We love that. But so far, nothing too crazy going on. We do see them walking up to get another ward down, so that one is going to be at least not spotted out, but they do know there is a ward in that general vicinity. There was no actual vision on it, though, so they aren't going to be able to get that plus 5 gold, so it's a net plus 10 total over to the side of Stun Gaming Cosmic. But we do see that they did get a lot of wards down on the red buff bot side of the jungle, right? They got one right by that raptor pit as well as the tri-brush, so they do know what's going to be happening for the first little bit of the game.
Yeah, and it looks like Maokai is actually going for a leashless start here. This is something you can do as Maokai because Bramble Smash is the best ability in the game. You can just click it on the raptors and absolutely obliterate them. So you can do a leashless start there, and he's going to actually move down, sort of throwing them off their game. Kind of, you know, doing a little bit of fake leash, giving them absolutely no info as to where he could be starting. I wonder what he's going to try and do with that. Maybe look for an early gank bot side, but I don't know.
So we do know that at the very least that ward will say that Maokai hasn't gone for his red just yet, but we do see a level 2 engage coming in from the top mid side. Nothing too crazy though.
Trade up in the top side here. Stunned does not win the race to level 2. And Sion gets a pretty massive trade, landing down the big slam from the decimating smash. And just doing a ton of damage there. I would like to, you know, say that Risky is actually going, their AD carry, Risky is going to be piloting the Seraphine down here, and Savvy is piloting the Senna, the support Senna. You know, I'm glad it's fasting Senna. You should never do feasting Senna. Please don't. You know, for me, if no one else, I don't like it. I don't think it's good. Maybe I could be proven wrong, but I haven't yet. So, you know, either way, it just needs a little bit of love maybe, but it's not too super necessary. You know, fasting Senna feels good. It's kind of a unique little thing that Senna can do, and I'm glad that there are unique things that champions can do. Yeah, Maokai is walking down, but there is going to be a ward, so he will get spotted, but it might not matter as the root's going to go down, the cleanse is going to stop, and Infomark can't get in range for the twisted advance, and he will have to walk away there, but that will be cleanse getting dropped by Overrush. Cleanse and heal, actually, dropping from the side of Rising Tide, but Flash getting blown by Infomark.
And it's going to feel bad to burn that Flash, but at the very least you get some of those combat sums out, so the bot lane 2v2 should be a little bit better for the side of Savvy and Risky for the next little bit. But the one good thing, though, is that Cull has been purchased here by Overrush, so even though, you know, this early lane phase is going to be a little rough, at the very least you have that. But in the top side, I'm not as agreeable to that Cull, because as a top lane, you really do need that HP. Having that is really nice for those trades. Either the Doran's shield or the Doran's blade feel really nice on that Aatrox, so going to be suffering a little bit, right? You see that he's really suffering in the health department, already down half HP, and this has allowed Peakley to look for an invade towards those Krugs, but he's getting collapsed on.
Okay, he's going to get collapsed on here. First Q will land by Maiden. Here, the second one doesn't go as wide, but it doesn't necessarily need to go, except Maiden's going to follow through over the wall, but Peakley is fast enough to just walk away, and Eureka going to have to maybe an unnecessary flash, but flashes either way to get away from the Maokai and the Aatrox. So a lot of flashes blown up topside, but Peakley did get a successful invade and stole that red buff up.
And getting that red buff is going to feel pretty nice, but burning the flash is also not going to feel all that great. But at the very least, you know, something was gained out of that invade. If not just a red buff, it is just a little bit of a, hey, I was able to do that because of what happened top lane. And that also did allow for Overrush and Odysseus to actually just push down that bot lane, because they were in a little bit of a risky spot to try and push that lane out, but because they saw Maokai towards that Krugs spot with that engagement going on top side, they were able to push that wave in, get back with a better base. They are up just a little bit of CS, and Jinx is already on her way towards that Storm Razor.
Yeah, Jinx on her way to the Storm Razor. It's a very popular first item start on the AD carry picks. I think now that it's been a week or so since we've been playing with these items and tinkering with them, a lot of players have figured out, okay, Storm Razor is actually pretty good. Better than Static Shiv. I know everybody was trying to go Static Shiv first day one, and where they were very disappointed, needless to say. Much like the rest of us about Static
Yeah.
Shiv. Maybe next patch. You know, maybe later. Maybe it'll be
It's
good
getting
eventually. Yeah, you know, that'll be nice. Something that is kind of interesting about this game is that there is no Youmuu's users in this game. Youmuu's arguably the most broken item on the patch. Very basically gives a ton of power to champions who should not have it. We do have a pick right here as Gabriel Leo does have the stolen Akali ultimate. We'll be able to get the flawless execution onto Peakley, but it's gonna have to flash out as Gerbs is looking to get a flawless execution of their own. Here comes Sion to try and secure Gabriel Leo, and Gabriel Leo will accept their death and stop the Sion ultimate from getting onto the Drake. Now Odysseus with Eureka is gonna walk up. Smite's gonna go down, secure the Drake, but they still have to escape. Chomper's gonna prevent them from getting where they need to go, at least annoy them a little bit. Now Infomark's gonna go for the engage actually, as Gerbs is low HP. It's gonna be a 4v4 right now, as Maiden OP is gonna be just trying to get on the front line, try and break Eureka down, but on the bottom side of the fight, Savvy is in a lot of danger. They will go down, trading another 1-for-1 there as Gerbs picks up Savvy, and Int for Mark will pick up the Sion. So a pretty even fight right there around the Drake, but the Drake will go over to stun.
And unfortunately, it is going to be an Ocean Dragon, so their lanes don't really suffer all that much, apart from maybe Silas. So it isn't going to feel all that great, but at the very least, they do start themselves that soul stacking, because realistically, they do have a winning bot. Mileo himself doesn't provide all that much lane power, so the fact that they have Senna Seraphine, who are scaling up nice and easy in this lane, are going to feel pretty good, right? They are going to be able to use that advantage towards the bot side to just try and get some things rolling here to get more dragons. But so far, all these wards have sort of expired other than the pinks, so it's up to Peakley to decide where he wants to go, as well as Infomark, because right now, Peakley has better Q, so he will have tempo on the map. He'll be able to move around faster. We see Gerbs getting some information here, knowing that Infomark is already up on this top side of the map.
Yeah, and something, okay, Peakley is going to be looking for a gank right now. Maiden does not have vision, but sort of expects that something could be happening, plays respectfully of the potential jungler there. So while we have, while we have a moment, okay, the bowling ball could have landed there. There was no Lilia ultimate, except actually it would have been available after picking up the crab there, which would have been funny. I don't think there would have been a Lilia ultimate. It would have been a little grief, but would have been interesting to say the least. Top side, we do have a trade right here as Maiden is using those abilities as expected to prevent Sion from really doing anything, but he's still able to clear the wave instantly because that is what Sion as the champion does.
But one thing to note, though, is the Sion actually has a sizable CS lead over the Aatrox here, which usually isn't how this lane's supposed to go, right? Things are looking a little rough here, but we are rotating the bot side up here for this Rift Herald. We already see Overrush and Odysseus already towards this top side of the map, but Eureka is in a little bit of a precarious situation, as Maiden and Infomark are ready and rolling, but the first Q is going to miss.
Yeah, Maiden will not quite land any Qs there, as Peakley is still pretty untouched around this Herald. They will likely have to just give it over here, as there isn't a lot of potential here. Bot lane is around, you know, top lane is around. There's far too much protection for Peakley here, so he's just going to very easily secure that Herald for himself. And Maokai is not really able to get any kind of response here. Speaking of, something I want to bring up here, as a Maokai enjoyer, probably my favorite champion, definitely my best champion. We have an Aftershock on Maokai, which kind of makes sense because he is the main tank of the team, so he does need to have those tank stats as the front line. But not going to be the first strike here. I will say, personally, I don't think this game would have been a big money Maokai game, but I still would have done it anyways because oh my goodness. Yeah. So nice counter matchup, by the way. Very funny.
Great counter pick. It's working out quite well here, but a lot of it does have to do with Eureka getting that kill down towards the bot side. Up a good chunk of gold because of that, right? Taking a look, he's up like 500 gold at this point in the game, and that's not really what you want to be seeing as the Aatrox. That doesn't feel all that great because already the Sion was up in a good chunk of CS, and he made the first roam as well. So unfortunately, Maiden not really being able to make use of this counter pick so far, but this might be working out here as Int for Mark is ready here on the top side of the map.
Yeah, he's going to arrive, but Sion does have Flash, does have Ulti, is a very safe gamer up there. Also had Vision in Tribush, so Infomark really is kind of just wasting time there are camps around the map still available for him to take up. And if Piklay wants to, could just go and Roomba the bot side, but instead will actually run into Mark right here. And Piklay's potentially going to go and look for an aggressive trade, but dissuaded as the side of stun are available. All right, Infomark's going to click the button right now. Overrush no longer has cleanse. Milio can only do so much, and now Milio's going to get ultied by the Seraphine, walking back a little bit, but manages to avoid further danger. The heal will get popped there. Overrush getting picked out.
Gabriel Leo is going to pick up that one, so this Silas is going to be that main carry here for the side of Stun Gaming Cosmic. And they're going to be happy with that. Silas snowballs so incredibly hard, does so much damage, the game does go later and later, and has so much utility with that ult steal, right? Again, good ultimates available, right? They have that Lilted Lullaby, they have the perfect execution. Mega Death Rocket's never bad, and just having Milio's funny button ready to go is always a good thing. But this does mean they have first move on towards this dragon, because they did lose their AD carry. And they're getting ready to roll.
Yeah, and getting ready to roll indeed as the train has arrived. Sion's going to be diving into the front line, and Risky's going to have to flash over the wall. And all four of the gamers on Stunned Gaming are in a bit of an awkward spot. Gabriel Leo is over the wall, going to fight Eureka a little bit, but nobody can approach this dragon pit, as that is going to be just picked up there. Now Jinx excited, but not able to convert on to Gabriel Leo, who will keep himself safe. But yeah, that's just going to be Hextech picked up by Rising Tide in the clouds. The winds have spoken. We have a Cloud Rift.
Yeah, we're getting a funny Cloud Rift going here, and Eureka just going to TP back up to this top side after that bot play. They grab the dragon. Nothing else, unfortunately, but they're in a pretty solid position, right? First items have been completed on Sion, who has, gotten a good chunk of gold, right? Up, has the most CS in the game so far. Also has been,
Silas doing a little dance. Silas doing a little dance right there. It's so funny.
Just a little bit of a dance. And he's also Mr. Moneybags as well, right? Sitting on the most gold in the game. Should be able to grab up that Everfrost if he does look for a base relatively soon. So will be in a great position for this next fight, for the next objective on the table, right? And so far, Vision has been mostly placed towards the spots in the map because of that dragon. They did have first setup, but unfortunately, because of the awkward positioning, they did get caught out and were not able to get things rolling. And were forced to give over that dragon to the side of Rising Typhoon. And now that their vision has already been placed, they need to try and rotate their bot side up, which they have already done, and get some wards down towards this top side, because Rift Herald is the next little, crab dinner left on the menu.
Yeah, and Maiden OP still kind of struggling in this matchup up here. It's not completed an item. Meanwhile, Sion does have that good old Sunfire, allowing him to obliterate these minion waves. Not going for the Heart Steal, at least first item. May pick it up second if he decides to. I'm not sure if he will. There are probably better items than Heart Steal, as much as I love Heart Steal myself, personally, just because it's a goofy item. I like wacky items. I like items that do something that's kind of funny, even if they aren't good. So, yeah, that's could happen. That's quite a bit of damage on the Risky right there. Overrushed with the... Oh my goodness. Storm Razor completed, and Milio as well, just setting up so much of this. Pick is super nice, really awesome champion. Very, very good. But around the rest of the map right here, it's kind of split. We're setting up a line of scrimmage just across the map right here. So there's nothing really coming up soon. There is the Herald in 40. So taking a look at some items here, Gabriel Leo finished the Mythic at some point. I feel like he's had it for a little bit now, so he's had that in his pocket for a bit. Senna still looking to get her first big item purchase, which I imagine will be the Umbral Glaive. I can't think of any other reason or what else it could possibly be. Seraphine has finished Leandri's right here. Oh my god. Yeah. Maiden is going to be in a little bit of trouble right here. Dodges right out. Now Maiden is actually going to be in the driver's seat in this fight. Flashes are going to have to get traded as the World Ender forces Eureka back. And this Herald is going to be started up by the side of Stun Gaming, but Piklay is in position right now. He got chunked out a little bit here, and now Odysseus could be in a little bit of danger right now. Takes a little bit of damage there, but not a whole lot. those health bars are still fine. Eureka is stepping up. Akali is on the bot side of the map. No, is going to be TPing in right now. Maokai clicking the button. Nature's Grasp is going to be landing onto Odysseus, but the damage is not there to convert. Now Piklay is going to be over the wall, having to flash to get out. Yeehaw, but the shield is not going to be enough. The damage is not going to come through. But on the front side, Eureka is going to just get finished off by Savvy, as now the zombie's going to try and do anything here in this fight, as Infomark's going to get stunned up a little bit, but he is very tanky, and while Jinx can do a lot of damage to those squishies, Jinx can't really do a whole lot right now to Maokai, so he will be fine right there, and that is just going to be a good fight, a good controlled fight, and a Herald going over to stun.
And it was a great look by Leo, who was able to find a good flank onto their backside, right? Typhoon didn't really have a way to notice that the Silas was able to just get over the wall with those dashes and just be in a great position to look for a huge play onto the backline. And because the Jinx and the Millie were so chunked so early in the fight, things looked really rough because their AD carry wasn't allowed to free hit. They need to be getting these front-to-back fights with Akali on flank, but unfortunately, they weren't able to get that set up because they just didn't have good vision control. And that's just because Milio himself just isn't great at running around and placing down some vision, right? He is very susceptible to getting jumped. He doesn't really have much to fight back with. So him getting caught out very, very easy. Can't be walking alone for wards. And having a Lilia not the greatest for just running around placing wards. So Piklay might be a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, Piklay is actually going to be looking to aggress into Gabriel Leo, but he's not going to be respecting the rest of the team. The sleep's going to go through onto Gabriel Leo. He's going to be in a little bit of danger right here. He's going to get blasted by Gerbs, and now Savvy's going to be the target right now as the flawless execution is used to get over the wall. Savvy is going to get hit by the three-point strike, and now Maiden will be the next target here as Gerbs does get away from the trade. Maiden will just be having to run away right now as the tower will fall. His teammates have already fallen, and this Drake, the first cloud of the map, will likely go, well, definitely, not likely, definitely go over to Rising Tide.
That's a huge gold swing here for Rising Tide Typhoon. They weren't only able to grab that big fight win in this bottom side river, they were able to grab 2 towers, 1 mid lane after that win, and because Sion was left alone, he was just able to whack away at that tower and grab that one up too. So now they're up 2,000 gold after being down about 500.
Oh,
and there's a fight on the top
is
side.
in huge trouble right now, or maybe Sion's in trouble, as Maiden is going to be looking to try and get those Qs, trying to get some more healing down off of the World Ender, but will not be able to land anything to finish off that kill in top. At least he does not die to the Sion, so you take what you can get, but what will die is, of course, this bot side outer turret, as Rising Tide continue to siege these objectives and take them down one by one.
Getting these outer objectives are going to feel really good because that's standing gold that's now off the map, but in their back pockets. And it's also huge vision denial because apart from just the damage themselves, towers provide so much protection because it's so hard to get through these jungle corridors without having a tower protecting you. And it also allows for sneaky plays coming in from Piklay, who can just walk in, send a bowling ball from an off angle, and then just get a big pick because there's so much damage here available from the side of Rising Tide Typhoon. So that just means vision control is just so much more important for the side of Stun Gaming Cosmic.
Yeah, they're going to need to get that vision. They're going to need to step up and find those angles. At very least, they have the Maokai, so they have a decent ability to breach with those saplings, especially if they're not able to get to a fight or a position first. They can still throw a sapling out, and that gives them a little bit of safety as they can scout ahead. But for the time being, turrets just falling over to Rising Tide as they have a modest 2k gold lead right now. Spread reasonably evenly across the team. Obviously, the Akali is very strong right now. She is very dangerous, but Piklay actually has almost 1,000 gold up on his opposing jungler on the other side of the map. And the Jinx as well has a ton of gold. Granted, now this is kind of like quote-unquote carry Seraphine with the quote-unquote support Senna. And, you know, I was talking about Youmuu's users. I was like, oh, that's going to be an Umbral Glaive. No,
it's Youmuu's.
This is a Youmuu's Senna. Is this something you've seen?
I have not really seen Youmuu's, but it is considered the best lethality mythic to be happening. But big fight going on.
Yeah, big fight going on. As Maiden OP is just gonna have to flash over the wall. You know, I tried to ask a little bit about Youmuu's, and Maiden OP was like, "This is the time to fight," and will end up getting punished for it as the rest of Rising Tide collapse. Gerbs maybe looking to try and get an angle, but is on vision so we'll have to just dip and dive out of there. Herald was dropped in the mid lane, as Stunned are going to look to try and crack their first outer turret, but it will not go through. And Peakley is going to be looking to try and get something there. This Q does not land with a slow will. Gabriel Leo will just get out here, and Herald might just finish off the turret, but he will not right there. So at the end of the day, the funny thing about second Herald is that if you do not break a turret with it, it is actually advantageous for your opponents. So
they get more XP. This just feels so awful. But at the very least, you know, they were able to get some tower damage down. This mid turret is very, very low. So if they do win a push, they might be able to just grab 2 towers instead of just 1 because they were able to take that tower so incredibly low. But look at that vision setup towards the top side of the map right there. Really scared of giving it that Baron, but look at the fight.
Okay, we have an engage here from Eureka as Peakley is going to be on the backside right here. Sleep is not up, so Maiden will just try and have to back out right here. He's going to be getting dove right now. Wow. Eureka does not care about the turret, and Peakley goes for the flash, goes for the watch out Eep, and Maiden did not watch out, and Eep, he is gone. Aatrox being taken out of the fight on top side. Aatrox going for the Eclipse right here in this game, you know, not going for the Omus, not a believer. Maybe he still wants that HP shield or something. I don't know why you want survivability. Infermark is going to try and pick out Gerbs right now as he's going to be dropping the Nature's Grasp, which is going to root up a few targets, but the cleanse is going to come through from Overrush as Gabriel Leo steals the Super Mega Death Rocket, but that is just going to be just a take because he can, as the fight does not go any further on to anyone, but the cleanse was blown off of Overrush.
Cleanse was taken out. At the very least, that's something they can try and punish because they do have Infermark who could just look for a flash and just a little W there. But right now, Dragon spawning up here in 20 seconds. Setup isn't really ready for the side of Stun Cosmic Gaming. They haven't really been able to step up just yet. They've sort of been playing on their own side of the map because they haven't really been winning these fights. They haven't been able to find these picks either, and they excel in these big 5v5 team fights with their composition, right? So they need to be ready. They need to be prepared. But Peakley already just walking in and getting some poke damage down.
Yeah, dropping the bowling ball onto Risky will do a little bit of damage, but not a too terribly large amount. Here comes the charge in from Sion. Going to be interrupted by the front line, but the front line is going to take a ton of damage right now as Seraphine is not able to support. Seraphine has the Encore, but is not going to use it, holding onto it for next game as Infermark is going to go down, finally dropping the Encore, but it is far too late. And now Overrush is going to be getting excited, landing the zap. Gerb's going to be finishing that off with a 3-point strike. Gabriel Leo getting caught by the Peakley, who is over the wall, watching out. Eeping, getting the burn down. Gabriel Leo will get some healing, but the healing is only for moral support as Gerbs is gerbing all over the place right now. This is a Gerb smash going on in this game as Stunned just gets routed around the Drake.
And they're just going to be able to grab up the third Dragon Soul Point being grabbed up for the side of Rising Tide Typhoon. They did not lose a single member. They're also pushing down this bot lane. Maybe they can grab a tower and inhib. These Chompers are denying so much space, but Infermark is here wanting to say no, and we'll be able to do so for the next little bit, but the tower will fall to minions.
Tower will go down there. So that is a successful siege on bot side. That is an open inhibitor, and open inhibitors are Sion's favorite thing to think about. Oh, Milio, watch out, Milio! Milio's fine. You know, he's okay. He's A-okay. Maokai, tired of getting his jungle camp stolen, will drop the smite onto the big wolf. It's going to have a charge up pretty soon, so not the end of the world. He's not going to lose anything here. As Overrush, maybe a little bit too far out, but doesn't have any sort of punish right there as Infermark is looking up towards the top side. Kinda weird. That was just that Jinx was dead. Jinx should have died there. Why wasn't Infermark walking and drop? Huh. Well, that's fine. You know, we're saving it for the team fight that's coming up for sure. Unless he dies, which could. Fancy footwork from the Maokai to Twisted Advance through the Sion ultimate and get out alive. Does have to blow that Nature's Grasp. That's what we were saving it for. That's what we were that's what we were saving Nature's Grasp for getting caught and bailing ourselves out. But either way, Infermark does manage to survive right here. Savvy could be in a little bit dangerous. Peakley is fast. Peakley is mad, looking to just get some damage onto them. But the damage is not really even super important. The more important, He's dancing. You know, P-Clay knows he's in a
dancing.
position where he can, you know, have a little bit of fun in this game, and he's going to have a little bit of fun as he runs around as a little deer. And Infomark might be in a little bit of danger, gets the stomped, gets a watch out eat interrupted as Eureka is now going to be a target right here, maybe a little bit too far forward as Gerbs has found the backside, going to be flawlessly executing. The encore only landing onto Scion as the piercing darkness will pierce nobody, but the super mega death rocket will blow Seraphine to smithereens. The fight will continue. No longer Savvy being chunked out. That is one player down, a huge player for a very important member of Stunned, and now this Baron will get started up.
So P-Clay doesn't take damage. Already has the Jock Show and the
Very
Demonic
interesting.
Embrace. Pretty tanky, if I do say so myself. Is in a really great position to just make things happen here. But, I mean, there's just no real contest at this point. They haven't really been able to get their footing in this game. They just don't have the items. They don't have the damage to take down the front line. And even if they do break through the front line, the back line just does so much damage, and they always have to worry about Gerbs looking for a flank as well. It's a Stun Gaming Cosmic. They need to set up a death rush. They need to get a pick on someone. But who are they going to look to pick? Because all these members, apart from like the very, very back line, are decently tanky.
Yeah, it is, it is definitely a little bit of a rough one here for the side of Stunned, as they're now looking at the Baroned up roster. They have been having trouble fighting this entire game. Just aren't able to get any good fights right here. They aren't able to get any damage at all. Senna is very behind, even for a fasting Senna. Has 70 souls, but I feel like that's not amazing. I kind of don't know the Senna soul timers. You know, it's been a while since I've played the champion. But either way,
Is a little low.
It's a little low. It definitely doesn't feel great. Seraphine behind as well, on an item in 2/3, and doing basically nothing to anybody that matters in this game. And we already know about Aatrox struggling. It's just the gold lead, the gold deficits for the side of Stunned are so crushing that there's almost nothing they can do in these fights. Because if you fall behind as a team fight comp, there's nothing for you.
You need to be winning these team fights. And the thing is, they're facing a comp that's also great at team fighting, right? The 4v4 is definitely in favor, but here, they're going in.
Oh, they're going to be going in right now. The Nature's Grab's going to help to try and get them disengaged, but the disengage is not going to be nearly enough. Encore's going to go through, and it is great, but there's just no damage coming through. Savvy's going to try and fire out as many autos as possible, but it is just doing peanuts to the side of Rising Tide, as now Eureka is just going to be crashing in to the bot side with the rest of the team leading the charge. P-Clay as well up on the front is fast and is furious once again. Abscond Abduct will not connect, and Rising Tide will back out of the base, content with their 2 inhibitors, and then look to reset and reconvert onto that top side.
And it's going to be Soul coming up in 20 seconds as well. We do see the fact that they are rotating down towards this bot side, but Gerbs is looking for a pick here, has the perfect execution ready to go.
Yeah, flawless execution. Will he flawlessly execute Gabriel Leo? Here comes Maokai, but it still will be a flawless execution, as that is a pick and could be the end of the game if they get any more, and Risky will be down, taking a risky maneuver right there that does not convert into anything. Now Infomark will be the target, and here comes the Shurelias. Here comes the final siege. Maiden is in a funky spot and not able to help at all. Will pop the World Ender, try and end the world here, but it looks like his world will be the one crumbling around him, as Infomark doing nothing right here on this tank. Maokai, Savvy just tickling the opponents, not even on a second item. And Overrush will attempt to blow Savvy away, but instead will be content exploding the enemy nexus and claiming game 1 of the series.
So Rising Tide, Typhoon take a commanding game 1. You know, we saw that the Silencers performed pretty well in the early game, but apart from that, it was just team fights that led to the victory here of Rising Tide Typhoon. They played these skirmishes very, very well, and were able to just capitalize off of that. But at the same time, counter the R5 Aatrox just not really showing up here in game number 1.
Yeah, R5 Aatrox, we thought it would be a good counter pick, but Eureka really played that lane insanely well. And I think Maiden kind of maybe played a little bit disrespectfully in terms of eating so many of those charged up decimating smashes in the early game, just chunking out his HP bar for no good reason. He also, he had the coal, something you talked about early in the game, is kind of a less than ideal item purchase. But I don't want to harp on items because there's so much more that Stunned could have done better in this game. The fights they took, there was one fight in particular around Drake where Seraphine is just holding on to her ultimate for so long, and I just I checked because there were so many opportunities where could have dropped it, but just doesn't. And I don't understand why. I watched Risky. I think we watched Risky last week on stream, and I was very impressed with how Risky was piloting those hyper carries. I do not like the Seraphine. If you're gonna have Risky as one of your big carry members, Seraphine is not the pick I want. Seraphine is not gonna work out. The Senna didn't really like it at the end of the day either. But either way, it's something they're gonna have to think about as they go into game 2.
And we'll get that rolling in just a second, and we should be in the draft in just a couple minutes. We will be right back, everyone.
Dragon. If you're gonna hold me down, you're not gonna let me in into your castle walls. None of you can keep them. 'Cause if I gotta burn it all down, burn it all down. My oh my, look at who cause I'm greater than 필요 없는 시험들 다 뿐이미 But all of my numbers are talking back 부루마 뭐 메시지 monopoly 넌 종이 돈이나 물머니 필요 없대 너네들이 만든 돈들 go get it go get it go get it 더 미션 눈을 못대 못해 그래 너도 get it cause I got it different All I'll ever know is life upon the throne 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야 You want more No I got it so deep down You look like you could use some more No I got it never running low Yeah I got more than enough Let it up and away You know I got it like bomb bomb blow your mind Never giving less and it's how it'll stay You know I got it like all day all the time When I go it's for gold Get it cool but I'm cold I don't fit in a mold I'm a rebel I don't do what you say Making moves I don't wait while I smile in your face I got different DNA What's higher than the top that's me Come take a look before falling at my feet 조용히 몸을 숙여봐 So take a look 나를 기억해요 queen All I'll ever know is life upon the throne 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야 You want more No I got it so deep down You look like you could use some more No I got it never running low Yeah I got more than enough Let it up and away You know I got it like bomb bomb blow your mind Never giving less and it's how it'll stay You know I got it like all day all the time Way out 感觉犹如海浪的味道不断往前 Oh you never way down This is how I do it every day Wow wow 这一路上的奇迹都记住了你的每一个瞬间无比的耀眼 I know you want some more 准备好就一起走 Giving it all more No I got it so deep down You look like you could use some more No I got it never running low Yeah I got more than enough Let it up and away You know I got it like bomb bomb blow your mind Never giving less and it's how it'll stay You know I got it like all day all the time
Welcome back, everybody, here for
Oh,
the
boy.
draft of Game 2 for the series between Rising Tide Typhoon and Stun Gaming Cosmic. Not a whole lot of differences right now, not a whole lot of pivots in terms of bans right here. Stun sticking to the game plan, Rising Tide as well. Maybe they felt those early bans were not too dangerous here. Stunned might look to pivot something here. Maybe they'll hit the Milio if they don't want to pick it for themselves. Or maybe they'll try and make Rising Tide click the Milio, get rid of that champion, then open up a VAS for Risky. Okay, we're gonna hit the Lilia. I think that's fine. The Lilia was kind of really tough to deal with in that last game.
It's a little bit, you know, it didn't look the easiest thing to deal with overall, but it is a signature pick from Peakley, so getting rid of that is going to feel pretty solid, you know, if you are a Stun Gaming fan. And we're going to see if Rising Tide want to ban away that Milio, because Milio, again, that's a really funny champion, and they're going to get rid of it. See,
Yeah,
when you're red side, it's just a must ban. I'm telling you right now, folks. Ban the Milio.
Only good buttons. Unless you can blow Milio up from long range with something like Misfortune, like Misfortune E into R, Milio's just, he's just too much.
Best champ in the
He's just too
game.
much. And speaking of the belle of the ball, the big boy in bot lane here on this patch, Kog'Maw, will be picked up by Rising Tide here. Overrush going to be playing that, and Odysseus on the Lulu. Famous Cog Lulu combo here, as Stunned will have the Jinx right now for themselves. That will be going over to Risky, thankfully. I'm glad Risky is going to get a more carry-oriented pick, as the J4 will get locked in for... Yep, okay. It'll get locked in for Infomark, and now they're going to look to close out their side of the draft, maybe with a support, or maybe they'll look to get something a little more ambitious.
So, the trifecta of supports that I do think should be picked in this current meta, right? They are Milio, Yuumi, and Lulu. Those are my 3 supports that I think are turbo broken. But Yuumi has not been seen very much. I still think even after those nerfs, she is very, very strong. She is a little bit weaker, yes. Okay, we're picking Engage. All right. I like that a little bit. I don't really know how I feel about that, to be honest. It's like Engage into Lulu, and it's on a hook. I like that a lot. That.
Well, and there. Oh, sorry, Rel. Dismounted Rel trying to play into Kog'Maw. I'm laughing thinking about it.
That is.
I'm chuckling.
Called out the misery right there. That is rough.
Everybody wants to be my enemy. If
God.
I am playing Rel and they are just all targeting me, and I'm dismounted and I'm slower than any other champion in the game, and very sad. Yeah, that probably could have been a Nautilus. I'm not really sure. I don't necessarily agree with the Rel, but the Poppy, like you said, very heads up kind of pick right there. It stops the J4, it'll stop the Rel, like every other ability in the game stops the Rel.
That's crazy.
You know, we'll have to see what Stunned can do to try and salvage the hole they're in, the theoretical draft hole they are in right now. As the Rising Tide are going to be picking blind right here. They're going to have to choose whether they want to blind top or mid for themselves. Unsure what they will think about doing here. They want to give Gerbs the counter pick. Just put Eureka not able to play the Scion again, as it was taken away from them. So there's still some options.
And, you know, even though Poppy was picked up, right, we do see that in Phase 2, a Hecarim was banned away as well. So there are 4 jungle bans here. And it's a Zilean picked up here as that blind pick.
Oh, man, Zilean. That is going to make Kog'Maw unbelievably dangerous. Kog'Maw will have so much movement speed. He will live twice. He will not care about anybody. It sort of makes the front line and the peel maybe not as good as it could be, but Rising Tide still has one more pick to close out their draft, and they can definitely shore up that weakness. Stunned, meanwhile, are going to be picking the Zilean in response, or the Victor in response to the Zilean, and hovering the Singe right now, you know, thinking about their life choices, thinking about how they ended up in this situation, and deciding that Plank? Is it Plank? Are we going Plank? Are we going blind Kale? Ain't no way. Yep, there he is. There's Ornn. There's Ornn. All right, we did it, Everett. We found Ornn. Ornn has arrived. Probably the best option they could have gone for to save this comp. Maybe Malphite as well could have been there, but Ornn's good.
I think it's a Cho'Gath angle here for Typhoon, honestly. Because what is a Rel and Jarvan going to do when they get silenced as they walk up and try to engage?
Pretty much nothing. I'm not sure.
I think it's a field bat.
Oh,
snap! That is a Darius.
That is really good with the Zilean and the Lulu. Darius, one of his big weaknesses as a champion is sometimes it's kind of hard to get on your opponent. What does Zilean do? Makes it really easy to get on your opponent.
True.
So, also has that ability to yank the Rel out of her jump. You know, yank the Jarvan, yank the Ornn as well when he tries to attempt to hit his Ornn if he's on top of him. So, it is definitely going to be sort of maybe not the most conventional option there, picking the Darius, but I do think it'll get the job done. Yeah.
And it does sort of just smash lane as well, so that's something you have to be wary of too. Should just win lane for free, all things considered. So we'll see how things roll. But
you've been cutting out quite a little bit. So.
Oh no, me see what I can do to fix that. What I could. What
Well-
I could
Yeah. Okay.
Well-
you there?
is yeah, I should be hopefully.
All right. Okay. You're good. You're good.
So, overall, though, as that counter pick, you do have that as that Darius, but we haven't seen the counter picks perform all that well here,
Mhm.
right? They haven't been doing all that great, even considering the series I cast back on Monday. Counter picks haven't been looking all that hot. That is all I'm gonna say right now.
Wait, hold up. Were you on the VRD series or the VAD
Yeah,
series?
it's on the VRD series, man.
Look, I don't want. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
We're not gonna worry about that. We're not gonna
Okay.
worry about that.
All right.
Either way, Rising Tide have drafted honestly a really, really solid composition.
Mhm.
I like what they've put together here.
I do as well.
Stunned. I think like Stunned obviously has some good buttons on their team.
Yes,
they have
they
the
do.
Horn. They have Cataclysm. They have Chaos Storm. They have so many good abilities, but I don't know. I feel like they just aren't able to really get onto the targets. They're not going to be able to get on the targets they need to. The big weakness for Rising Tide is that they are very singular in terms of their damage. It is all Kog'Maw all day, unless Darius gets a crushing lead in the top lane. So there is that potential. If the Kog'Maw can get blasted, they might be able to turn these fights and in their favor, but it will come down to whether or not they can even do that. And it is going to be so tough for them because they're going to have to kill Kog'Maw twice. And I
That's
don't
rough,
know
buddy.
how that's going to go.
That is pretty rough. But to be fair, Stun's composition looks good in a vacuum, right? If they were up against just a normal conventional team like that didn't have counter picks, it looks really good, right? They have good engage, they have good long range engage, they have decent peel, they have good damage split. But then you turn to the other side, you see a Poppy, you see a Darius to crush the top lane, you see a Zillion to just mitigate a lot of that front-loaded damage that Stun does have, right? Because they're reliant on their ultimates heavily, so Zillion is a great way to nullify that. And they're better in teamfights than they are in pick. Their pick potential is kind of weak, all things considered, apart from just the Jarvan alone. So, again, I just think Rising Tide has just created a great response to what Stun has drafted for themselves. Overall, at least.
Yeah, Rising Tide have put themselves into a very advantageous position. And I think that it's going to be a little tough for Stun, but if Stun can execute, they can definitely close this game out. It's just going to come down to, can you hit your buttons good? As it always does. So, as we get into we're going to go to a quick break. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go to a quick break while we wait for the spectator delay. When we come back, we will be in Game 2 here between Stunned Gaming, Cosmic, and Rising Tide. Rising Tide 1 up. They're going to look for match point here, and Stunned are going to look to tie up the series. So, we'll see who can do what when we get into the game in just a few moments.
빛은 창문 눈을 감아 바람이 부는 곳에 날 데려가 Wanna be myself Wanna leave this hell 꺼내줘 제발 Stuck in a place between the space of heart and mind 시간을 쫓아 꿈을 찾아 흘러가 So baby. I'll show you what I'm made of. Rise to the occasion. Got fears but no faith. I'll show you what I'm made of. A heart full of fire. Looking at the fire. I'll show you what I'm made of. What I'm made of. Yeah. I'll show you what I'm made of. I'm alone, only know myself no more. Take it to the grave, I'll ghost. I know I can be so cold. In the dark, where I like to keep my heart. No more bite, no bark. Like to catch you way off guard.
Welcome back, everybody, here on the Rift for Game 2 of our series between Stun Gaming Cosmic and Rising Tide Typhoon. Rising Tide on the red side this game, as Stun Gaming have taken the blue side. We have... on Rising Tide's side, we have drafted Kog'Maw and Kog'Maw accessories. And on the side of Stun Gaming, we have just drafted good champions in a vacuum. So we'll see whether good champions or, you know, good gamers will succeed on the night today. This is game 2, as Rising Tide picked up game 1 just not too long ago, in a pretty dominating fashion. And Gabriel Leo's going to get first strike here, +5. Can they get any more? Looks like they will not. +3, just going to be +8 overall. The gold, ooh, okay, Risky is gonna get some gold off of that
Did
ward.
Savvy forget potions? I feel like Savvy forgot potions.
Savvy, let me click. No, Savvy spent gold on, I believe, probably a control ward
Oh
at
no.
some point. I don't know where that control ward is. You know.
Oh no.
So,
Right. That's gonna feel pretty bad for lane.
Yeah, no potions here. Azrael is already not happy in this lane right here, because Kog'Maw clicks W and you just have to, you know, not approach for the next 14 seconds. Or, yeah, you know, it's a 14-second cooldown or something, but, you know. It's what it is. You do have windows of opportunity to get onto Coggers. Let's see if Savvy can find them. For the time being, though, it looks like they are going to get a level advantage down here, as Kog'Maw not really pressuring things all too much.
Nothing too crazy going on.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Looking at the jungles here, we are going to have a top to bot for Infomark and a bot to top for P-Clay. Not too surprising, considering which of these, you know, the objectives of these teams. You know, who do you want to get ahead on stun? AD carry. Who do you need to help out? Darius, for the side of Rising Tide. You know, try and give him a crushing lead, make him a secondary damage threat. So, pretty smart planning overall, but kind of a slow start to the game.
And you're sort of okay with this for the bot side of the map. For both sides, you know, your Cog, Lulu, you scale really well. And on the other side, you're a Jinx, you scale well too. All you need to do is just chill out a little bit, get things nice and rolling here, but just a little bit of damage being dealt here on both sides. Mid lane taking a good chunk of damage here. Gerbs throwing back those bombs. Gabriel taking a good chunk of damage. But so far, nothing too crazy pathing-wise. We do see that Infomark was hovering around the bot side, but they're already shoved in, so not really much they can do off of that.
Yeah, Infomark looking for a lane gank there, but Overrush just not really looking. I mean, Kog'Maw kind of can't shove in anyways, so it's kind of like he has no incentive to push out, because pushing out just gets him killed, honestly. So he is going to fall a little bit of CS down in this lane. as you see right there, missing some CS here and there. So that's not going to be amazing. But at the end of the day, Kog'Maw is still that late game win condition. Even if you are not doing super hot in the CS department, as long as you wait long enough, you should still be able to become a sufficient threat for the opponents. And
Definitely
speaking
here,
of threats, Gabriel Leo may be finding them in the mid lane, but we'll just walk away from that. No flashes burned for either side as Peakley just saying hello to the enemy mid laner, trying to get a Dark Harvest proc there, potentially on the Poppy, but not able to find that either. So yeah, kind of just, sitting here, hanging out, enjoying League.
Yeah, we're just chilling right now. Nothing too crazy, like we said earlier. But so far, the Ornn is kind of suffering in that CS department here. Is going to pick up that bombing cinder, so should be able to clear out these waves under tower a little bit easier, at the very least. But again, we're not going to see anything too crazy here until, like, I believe these first objectives do spawn up here, because top lane's just shoved in down a lot of farm, looking to try and get this one to crash under tower, but not going to be able to do so because the Ornn is so tanky right now.
Yeah, ward's going to get cleared out in the river. There is a ward for stun around that red side tri-bush there, but they are aware that it is there, so Peakley will know to play around it if he decides to go down bot, but it looks like that's not really in the cards for him. Meanwhile, Infomark just going to look to step into the jungle, see what is up, hits that scrying orb, finds Peakley on the wolves heading up, and now we'll go ahead and take that opportunity to start the dragon, but Peakley is on the way bot, and they could be... No, okay, yeah. This is just going to be a Drake going over to stun.
And, I mean, they don't really have any initiation on the bot side of the map, right, with their jungler, so it's all on stun, because they have a Jarvan. Oh, they're going for a play here.
Maiden OP has regained control of the lane a little bit here with that shoving power. We'll drop the Ornn Horn to just poke Eureka a little bit. Kind of strange there, maybe looking to shove that wave in with the Ornn Horn. I'm unsure
He didn't touch
what
the
the
wave,
game...
though.
Yeah, I'm unsure what the game plan was. But I am sure that
Peakley.
Peakley is angry right here, looking to try and get some damage on the Infomark right now, as Infomark level 4, level down onto the Poppy right now. Very far behind in CS, as well as Eureka is going to be ghosting in, flashing in, trying to get the pull back onto Maiden. Maiden's going to have to flash over the wall, but Eureka is still going, and Overrush has disconnected and reconnected. We missed that pause. I think there was like a frame, like a single frame of the pause screen right there. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I imagined it. But
Maybe.
Nope, there was a
there it
pause.
is.
There's definitely a pause. I'm thinking about, game 5 on Monday. How many pauses?
Yeah. That was really funny.
Yeah, pause iconic and pause Rita. It's what can you do? That aside, not a whole lot coming out from that play. A lot of summoners were blown though, as Maiden did flash, Eureka burn, flash, and ghost. So those are some defensive summoners for Eureka that are down. Could make them an easy target if Infomark decides to go up there. And right now, maybe a decent option here, as the Jinx is kind of fine right now in the bot lane.
Nothing's really going on. Right, everything is just sort of mellowed out here for the entirety of this game. But surprisingly enough, it is a big gold lead coming out here for the side of Typhoon, right? They are up 600 gold. That's 2 kills worth of gold that they are up for basically doing nothing this game, right? They're just up CS jungle, they're up CS top lane. Nothing really coming out of the bot lane, but surprisingly enough, they are actually up 200 gold while being down 2 CS.
Yeah, that's, it's always pretty decent to see there if you're on the side of Rising Tide. Those little bit of gold advantages mean a whole lot as the game goes on, and Overrush might be in a little bit of danger as Savvy goes over the wall. Gabriel Leo's going to be trying to get some damage down, but Overrush is able to flash out, ghost away, and will be staying alive. That pick almost works out, but I will say not too bad as Stun don't have to blow any subs.
They burn an ultimate, that's all. They've got the flash for basically nothing, so they're A-okay with that, and now they have some point of pressure that they can focus on, right? Kog'Maw is either going to walk up too far and is very susceptible to ganks, or they can just pressure that, push him under tower, and he can't walk up, then get plates. Get something done here with burning that summoner.
Yeah, I will say, I kind of misspoke there. Jinx did burn the ghost, but that was it. flashes are still online for the side of Stun's bot lane. And honestly, they've been doing pretty well for themselves, all things considered here. Granted, we are still waiting for Kog'Maw to come online and acquire any item. Nobody saw that.
No one saw that, right? I didn't see that.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Thank you, directed camera, for moving us away from the CS and bot lane. we don't need to know what happened to those last couple minions, all right?
We really don't.
We
It's
don't
okay.
need to see it.
He got them all, right? He got them all,
He
yeah.
definitely got them all. Close your eyes if you're an AD carry player. It's just tragedy happening. Most exciting outplay of the game was the turret killing the minions. But we do have a... no, never mind. Garibs is there, but Eureka not able to get close to Maiden. Maiden is safe under tower. Maiden's still down a lot in the CS department right here. They are Ornn, so it's not like, you know, could be worse, but also definitely could be better because this Darius has a very, very sizable gold lead and looking to spend it, but Maiden is interrupting that and could be looking to set up a freeze here as well in top if they play their wave properly.
Oh, they're trying to catch out Odysseus here.
I don't think they will.
No, they can't. It's
Bye-bye.
Lulu. I'm out of there. Zooming. But 40 seconds on the dragon.
Yeah, 40 seconds on the Drake right here. Savvy will remount, try and get the ward right now, but it's going to get stunned up into the wall. And now here comes the slam dunk onto Odysseus right there as the Cataclysm will help secure a kill, but now Risky is going to be in a risky position right there. Will get taken now. Peeklay's going to flash over the wall, force a flash from Gabriel Leo, but he is very fast right now. He's going to be dropping an auto attack in a slow, chunking out Gabriel Leo, but not able to get any follow-up there as no one else is anywhere close. But Kog'Maw will pick up first kill of the game for themselves, and the first blood will have gone over to Jinx. So 1 for 1 in the bot lane right here as blood has been spilled for the first time this game at around 10 minutes.
A lot of summoners blown for that first blood though, right? They burned the Victor flash, they burned the Jinx flash, so again for this next little bit, these fights are going to be a little risky, right? And it was off these flash cooldowns that people were looking for, right? Same thing with the Lulu flash. At least it was burned and they just capitalized out on that instantly. As soon as they saw the flash was burned, they went on it and they got the kill for their Jinx. At the very least, they got something done. But Dragon's been collected, but they're looking for a fight.
Ooh, Infomar gets a crazy flag and drag right there. Savvy gets the most insane magnet pull I've seen in my entire life right here. As the zap will go through. Risky will get excited right there. That was an effortless wombo combo coming in from the side of Stun Gaming. Let me tell you, that ain't Falco right there. That is incredible work from them.
Infomark finds the angle, finds a 3-man knockup, and just sentences everyone in there to death as the Jinx was just able to AoE them all down. Savi was able to follow up and get some good CC, and now they're able to capitalize, get some gold, and it wasn't even for a good dragon, so the entirety of Typhoon just died for a Chemtech dragon, and it just feels so awful knowing that's what you gave up your lives for.
Yeah, lives are handed over for the worst Drake in the game, charitably. And a ton of plates as well going over to the Jinx as that Herald was dropped bot by... Wait, no. Someone. I think Peakley had the Herald, but... You know, I don't really know what's going on. Either way, plates are really gonzo for bot side, and Jinx has a huge gold lead right now with all those kills. Does have the Stormrazor finished for themselves. Meanwhile, Kog'Maw, having prioritized tier 2 boots, will not be as close as they could be, as now Maiden's going to be looking for the Ornn combo here. Ooh, Eureka will have a Brain Blast right there and avoid the Ornn ultimate right there with the flash, but it's still going to be in a little bit of danger right here. Now on the bot side, we have Savvy looking for a great pick, another magnet pull, paying out dividends as they are picking up Odysseus in the bot lane, but Overrush is going to help fight back with that W on the bot side. And on the top side, which is what we were watching right there, we have a lot of trading aggressively going on, but the Zillion ulti will get popped out. Overrush could be in a bit of danger right here. Here comes the Hex Flash, but it doesn't convert into anything. Risky just needed one more auto, but could not find it. The spacing on these auto attacks, the positioning from these AD carries, life or death for the both of them there, and neither will bite the bullet.
And Odysseus does fall once more. 0-3 on the game so far. Sort of their weak point in this game. At the very least, they had a good performance last game. So, able to even it out just a little bit here going into game number 2. But, the Darius still in a strong position, right? But this Jinx is massive. They need to find a way to shut her down. Up over 1,000 gold, 1.2k goal lead on the AD carries. It just feels so rough if you are a fan of, Rising Typhoon.
Yeah, and I guess the question now, if you're on Rising Tide, is how do you pick the Jinx? Like, how do you kill this champion? You have to really depend on Peakley getting the most insane flank you've ever seen, and that can just be stopped by good vision, or Darius running at you, which will end in Darius getting shredded by Jinx. So,
we're going for a fight.
Eureka is going to try and go for a dive right here. Oh, that's depressing. That's sad.
That's rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy. That is. Ooh, mama. Even the client didn't want to see any more of that.
No, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's depressing. Try and dive Ornn and fail too. I feel like I see that every game Ornn's in. You think you can kill him? No, you cannot. Now Peakley might think he can kill Savvy right here, as Infomark is around. Peakley looking for an opportunity. Ward's going to go down. It's actually going to be the Cataclysm on into Peakley. That's just going to give him a wall to work with, and that's going to be the ultimate interrupted, as Peakley is in a bad spot right now. The laser's going to go down, and zip zap, that is going to be Gabriel Leo picking up the jungler right there, as Peakley finds himself in no man's land, stuck in the Cataclysm. And that'll be Herald, second Herald, looking to get picked up by Stun here. No real contest.
It is going to be double T burn for that play, but getting the Herald, and they should be able to get Dragon set up for that. So, not the worst in the world after burning both your teleports. You do have yourself some good positioning, and they grab the jungler too. So everything worked out in their favor so far, but Eureka trying to find something here, waiting already, sneaking around.
Ooh,
and they might be able to find a pick.
Sneaky. Gerbs is going to land one bomb. Does not go for the double bomb right there. It's just going to try and get... why did we not... what cooldowns did we not have? Did we not have rewind?
We did not have rewind. It was not up.
Huh? Oh, okay. All right. Yep. Okay. Gerbs gonna have to dash out of there right now, as the Drake is going to be spawning here. Savvy stepping a little far forward, looking to try and get something right now. Here comes the Ornn Horn, knocking away the front line right there for the side of Stun, and now looking to start the Drake up off of that. Bomb does not go in, and now Savvy and Maiden are going to be looking to try and aggress right there. Poppy's going to stop the Rel engage from getting onto the back line, and Savvy's going to be the first target right now, going to get shredded by Eureka. Now Infomark flashing forward, trying to get some kind of knock-up, some kind of CC, but not able to do it. Cataclysm is up, but not able to get dropped onto anyone, as Overrush dealing so much damage to everyone on the side of Stun. HP bars are low on both sides, except for Overrush. The man, the myth, the legend, the belle of the ball, Kog'Maw. Will he be able to do it? Bombs getting thrown out, but no stuns happening. Gabriel Leo potentially looking for a flank right here. The laser goes down. There's so much damage. Cataclysm dunking down onto Overrush, but the Zillion ulti is there as well. Now Peakley is going to just try and tank them out as Overrush comes back. You gotta kill him twice if you want to win these fights. And Overrush is looking to finish the game off. Unless Infomark goes in, he gets a knockup, he takes out the Lulu, he takes out the Kog'Maw. Quadra kill for the J4. And that is going to be the Drake and the huge turnaround for Stunned right there. A great team fight win.
Jarvan was so incredibly strong for that fight, was able to use that mythic effectively, but they can't get the dragon. They just didn't have the health bars for it. Jarvan was not healthy enough. They knew Eureka was already up and running straight for that objective. So it's a team fight win for the side of Stun Gaming, but they weren't able to capitalize. They weren't able to grab that dragon because their carries were so incredibly low. But all things considered, that fight was so close.
Something to really behold right here. When we were in the draft, we were talking about, like, theoretically, with all the counter picks that Rising Tide have, they should be able to be in, like, good spots for these fights. But honestly, just like the good buttons that Stunned have are paying dividends this game. They just click their abilities and they're just better than the opponents. I don't know what to say.
Dragon, 4K.
Yeah, 4K, 3K right here, as Peakley's going to look to get the knockback, and that's going to be the Ornn Horn interrupted the most interrupted Ornhorn you have ever seen. As now Risky is going to get slowed right here, but here comes a Maiden and Infomark getting stopped by the Steadfast Presence. That is why we picked the Poppy, folks. That is going to be Overrush. Just trying to get some shred onto that. Oh my goodness, Kog'Maw is the champion. Yeah, we are at an item in 2/3 on this Kog'Maw here, and he is starting to hurt quite a bit. Jinx getting closer to that second item, unsure of what she could be looking for right
ahead
now.
Of Jinx now.
Yeah, Cog is Cog ahead of Jinx. Oh boy, that's nice. That's good to see. If you are Kog'Maw, you are happy for that. You know, you're not gonna complain. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm fine with this. Cole, it was Cole.
It was Cole Pop. Oh my word, he's up just over 100 gold. You take that every day of the week, and should be able to get that Runon's Hurricane for the next fight here. But Eureka, maybe in a little bit of a rough spot.
Yeah, we'll take a little bit of damage, giving over 40 gold to Gabriel Leo right there. First strike, best rune in the game. No, nothing better, nothing at all. As now Overrush and Risky doing so much damage to one another. The two big carries of the game right here. The two pressure points for both of these teams. The two central focuses of these rosters right here. The Jinx and the Kog'Maw. Fortunately, Victor is in a decent position right now. Opted into the Ludens instead of the Leandries, which is kind of an interesting choice. I don't think it's too bad, all things considered, considering how squishy the side of Rising Tide are, relatively speaking. Getting that blasting damage down with the Ludens is not so bad, but either way, turret is going to drop as Eureka picks up the top outer turret. It's going to be the first turret there for Rising Tide. As, yeah, slowing down just a little bit for the first time in a while.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, things are going okay for both sides. You're happy that you have a lead if you are on the side of Stun Gaming, but having two dragons here for the side of Rising Typhoon, you're like, hey, we bought ourselves some more time for our Kog'Maw to hit 3 items. We are A-okay with that. We can fight third dragon. We can fight fourth dragon. Just make sure our Kog'Maw gets to these spikes. We have the tools to keep him alive. We just need to make sure he's able to do so.
You gotta keep Kog'Maw alive. This is the mission. Mission priority. Keep the man alive. Finding a pretty good engage, but there's nobody there to even convert on it. As now the Cataclysm's gonna go down. Overrush is trapped in a box right here. Is gonna get popped right now, but the Zillion ulti is there. Gotta kill him twice. As Infomark is gonna be going down. Right, here comes the Ornhorn. It's gonna crash in. It's now Savvy will help pick up Overrush on that front side as Gabriel Leo does a ton of damage. But on the front right here, Savvy's gonna be taken down. First dunk for Eureka right here. Now we get the reset on to Risky. Get one more dunk right there as Gabriel Leo forced to run for the hills as this robot is bleeding oil all over the place right now. And that is going to be 4 strong for Rising Tide as they find a great fight from what looked like it was going to be pretty bad.
It looks so dangerous. They caught out the Kog'Maw who didn't have flash. That was a good look. They just didn't have the buttons. They weren't able to fully capitalize. The dropping was just a little bit too late. But
Victor,
they do force him off the Baron. Victor is TP'd back.
Yeah, no Chaos Storm, but does have quite a bit of damage right now. Polymorph's going to go down. He's going to be trying to do whatever he can right here. His HP bars are rather low, 5,000 for the Baron. Yeah. Ooh, Poppy has to flash. Pinched in a terrible position right now. Superman does not convert. But because of the HP bars right now, Stun to get a decent position around this Baron, and they're just starting.
12k. It's only Kog'Maw.
Yeah, Kog'Maw. Yeah, Kog'Maw is spotting it out. There goes the blue trinket down. So they do know it is happening. TP's coming in from Gerbs. He's going to be looking to try and get in there, but the jungler is so far away. Peakley is nowhere to be seen. The last plant is blown. Peakley doesn't have flash. This Baron's going to get secured, but it's going to come down to, we're going to, watch in anticipation as the Baron is going to just get smited out right there. And one great defensive play from Gabriel Leo converts into stealing that Baron right from under the noses of Rising Tide.
And they are A-okay. They are happy taking that Baron, and now they have that, that huge stat steroid ready for this dragon, spawning up in 20 seconds, but they have to base. They don't have the vision control, and we do see the setup coming through, but Peaks might be caught out.
Yeah, Peaks might be caught out, or maybe Savvy's caught out. We'll have to see who is catching who in this game right now. Peakley is going to be
bot tower
away right now. His bot tower will get cracked by the Darius and minions. Jinx is down there. Is now the side of Stun are setting themselves up around this Drake's Peaklay. Will take Blast Pan over the wall. Jarvan does have Flag and Drag, does have Flash, does have ways to get over to steal it and get out. So we'll see if he can look for that 6K down. Yeah, Kog'Maw shreds these. And now we have Savvy going over the wall. We have the Ornhorn going in, but Ornn's going to get knocked away. Savvy's going to get onto the back line, but not onto Overrush. Gabriel Leo's dropping down the Chaos Storm, but Overrush is pathing forward, is not afraid of anybody right now. Stun's going to go on to Gabriel Leo, but in for Mark, with the help of the Super Mega Death Rocket, will blast that Kog'Maw. There is no 2 lives for that man because Zilean was there as well, being put into the Death Chamber. As now Rising Tide have receded back into the ocean. Peaklay, the lone member on the Rift right here for the team. And now with this Baron, Stun are going to look to siege.
It's a 2 for 4, but they do get themselves soul points, so it is not the worst thing in the world for the side of Rising Typhoon, but a huge win coming out for the side of Stun Gaming. They have this gold. They're using this Baron now because members are dead, but Peaks just dies.
Yeah, Peaks just dies. That's a sad trumpet noise for Peaklay right there. That's a sad trumpet emoji for the man, the myth, the legend. Getting zapped, getting shot down. So yeah, as we get further into this game, it's a pretty strong gold lead for the side of Stun. These fights don't necessarily feel entirely lost for Rising Tide in any of them. Is when Overrush is able to just be untouched and auto attack, he does so much damage to everyone on the side of Stun. But he has to be able to do that. And in that last fight, we just saw the Cataclysm and the Super Mega Death Rocket and explosions just obliterated.
Got rid of the Kog'Maw and accessories right there. The Gerbs and Odysseus were taken out because of the Cataclysm, which meant Overrush couldn't really play the game because he didn't have his tools in his tool belt, right? You know, what's a builder without his tools? What's a carpenter without his tools? Can't really do all that much except just get taken down and obliterated. And unfortunately not able to make things happen here, but, you know, we're trying to get this Kog'Maw onto 3 items, right? They bought themselves some more time because now they have 3 dragons to get this Kog'Maw fed.
Yeah, and that Infernal is going to be huge for Kog'Maw in particular if they do manage to get that in 3 minutes time. But both of these big objectives are going to be coming up at the same time. And that actually creates kind of an interesting position here for both of these teams, because if Rising Tide trade Drake for Baron and they get the soul, the siege could just be enough to end their game, as there's not a whole lot left in the base. But for the side of Stunned, if they give up the Baron, that just allows more stalling for the side of Rising Tide, giving Overrush more time to hit those items, giving Poppy more time to find any sort of tank items right here for themselves so they don't get instantly blasted in these fights. So,
they're going in.
Interesting position. We do have an engage right here, so Shirley is going to go, and Peaklay is going to try and get onto Risky right now. Risky is on their lonesome, and they will be picked out so easily. A slam dunk for Eureka right there. They saw their mark, and they did not int for it. Meanwhile, int for Mark is going to be in an interesting position right here. He's going to get stunned right now. His back is going to get interrupted. This will almost certainly be a dead J4. Steadfast Presence will get Papa in for Mark. Will still be able to flag and drag, but not far enough as he gets yanked back, apprehended, and blasted away by Peaklay. Now in the mid lane, running it down. You can see on the mini-map there, Overrush and friends just doing a lot right there, but on the top side, Gabriel Leo's getting quite a bit of damage onto that inner top turret, but not enough to take it down. So, couple of really important picks going over to Rising Tide.
Get in the jungle, get in the AD carry, but unfortunately, it was not before an objective, so even though they did get a big pickup, they just weren't able to get anything off of that, right? They need, maybe Kog'Maw's going to be able to get that Kraken Slayer online, so 3 expensive items, hitting 3 items, I think he's going to be really powerful for this next fight.
He's going to be very powerful for sure in this next fight. In this next fight, will it be Drake? Will it be Baron? Or will it be trading objectives? I am not sure. I'm going to ask for your opinion. I'm going to defer to you. If you are Rising Tide, what do you take here? Do you take the soul and trade for the Baron, or do you look to just contest?
You look for Baron. You do not need this dragon. You are A-okay buying more time for Elder. You don't want this game to result in a flip. Elder flip is the worst thing you could do at this point because you still are down a good sizable amount of gold. So just try and get that Baron, try and get a guaranteed objective, take whatever they give you.
All right, we'll see if Peaklay's going to give him his own life right there, as the rockets are doing actually quite a bit of damage there onto Odysseus, as Peaklay brought that rocket into him. You know, one of those ARAM moment right there. It's just getting blown up by your own teammate. But Gerb's looking to try and get a stun onto somebody right there. Just zoning out, keeping control of that choke point. Gerb's dropping the Everfrost right there as Gabriel Leo looks to step forward and get some kind of damage down, as these bombs are helping to control the zone here, prevent Savvy from stepping forward, which is exactly what they want. But on the bot side, we have the J4 Infomark looking to get onto the backline, has Flash, has the Cataclysm, has everything they need. They're going to be looking for it pretty soon right here. Going to get the slowdown from the Zillion, going to be dunking onto Overrush. He's going to be trapped in the pit, but there's no follow-up as Eureka, the only Demacian man. Jinx. Oh no. Okay, well, okay. I actually don't think that's good. I don't think that's actually good. I don't know if I like that to steal there. They could flip for Elder if they gave Soul over. I don't know, man. Very,
oh god,
very precarious position. Are they gonna fight for this? I don't know if they can, but it looks like they're going to try anyways. As Savvy is gonna get jumped on, gonna have to flash over the wall right there. As now Overrush hitting the Baron right now, doing so much damage, but Gabriel Leo still has the Chaos Storm, still has everything in their pocket right now. They're gonna get kind of slowed out right here. They're gonna get polymorphed as Odysseus trying to do what they can to keep Overrush alive, but Overrush is gonna have to run away right now, and Gabriel Leo has found the opportunity to walk into the river. He zaps away Odysseus, and they claim their position around the Baron, and once again, maybe even the Baron itself.
They're doing it again. Peaklay knows this time. Peaklay knows it's up.
Yeah, Peaklay is in a better position to try and contest, but there is no blast plant available.
No vision.
It's a blast plant, but Peaklay can't get to it. He doesn't have the HP bar. He doesn't really know what he can do. Or maybe he knows what he can do, but knows that it's going to end in his own death. As the Baron goes over to the side of Stunned once more, they get both objectives.
That's not what was supposed to happen. You know, you're supposed to trade, get one, be happy with it. But they contested the Dragon. Peaklay used Smite to make sure that Infomark fell, but Super Mega Death Rocket from downtown actually ends up stealing the Dragon. And because of their health bars getting chunked out, they weren't able to really do that Baron because they were flip-flopping around. They couldn't make a decision. They were trying to zone away. They wanted to look for a fight, but, you know, Odysseus ends up getting caught out, getting taken down, and they can't look for the objective, so they lose out on both.
Yeah, and you can notice right here, Kog'Maw has actually gone for the QSS.
I don't know what it's gonna be used on. I guess Vector Stun?
You pop QSS and then you can walk through the Jarvan wall? I'm not sure. You know, maybe I'll need to check what QSS allows you to do. You know, I'll have to read the tooltip sometime. Yeah, you know, it's probably fine. You know, there is enough CC that is definitely, if you are Overrush, you do not want to die here. But at the same time, you could probably just like buy like GA and then have a third life, because you're gonna be Zillion ultied every fight. You know, might not be the worst idea. Honestly, maybe even Zanya's would be better.
Oh my goodness, Gerbs.
Oh my goodness, this Jinx damage is insane. Eureka is there though, looking for an opportunity.
This is a scary situation, right? It's a 5v5 right here, but Peaks looks for something.
Looking for something indeed, but will not find.
Overrush is chunked.
Yeah, Overrush is chunked. The Siege is so strong right here with the Jinx rockets right now. She has Rapid Fire Canyon and the Storm Razor right here. That damage is insane. Ooh, the Poppy ultimate. The Keeper's Verdict will keep nobody away from the base of Rising Tide, as Risky will blast down this inhib with his teammates, and they still have Baron in their pocket. They still have those minions. They're looking to keep going right here, but it's still 5v5 right now as Peaklay's going to go into the front, but he's going to get taken down pretty far as Infomark is in the front line, still has the Cataclysm looking to use it. Gabriel Leo will go down. That is one damage threat taken away, as now Maiden maybe the one next to go, as Overrush will pick that up, and now you're apprehending three members right there will go down, but the Cataclysm is not enough to keep anybody dead or keep anybody alive. Savvy will go over the wall and ironically might be the only player to have enough mobility to escape. But I think P-Clay will be able to get onto this Rel. Never mind. Never mind. Again, Rel, the only champion with enough mobility to get out of that situation right there is stunned. Stayed far too long, and okay, never mind. Never mind.
Get out of there! Run, Savvy, run!
Run! Mount up! Get away! Oh no!
No!
Oh, okay. Wait, hold up. No, now P-Clay can't finish that. So, yeah, that was a bit of a risky maneuver that does not pay off for Stun.
Wait, Overrush?
Overrush is trying to get blasted there, but he's okay. He's fine. He's gaming. And 10 seconds on this Drake. Oh my goodness. Take a breather.
Oh!
No, no, no. Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh me, oh my. Victor has the TP, but is going to TP right onto the Darius right there. Can't get onto that Drake pit because this Darius is very dangerous. And yeah, that's going to be Gabriel Leo in a lot of danger right here. The stun is going to stop him. Now on the other side of the fight that we are not seeing right now as we are watching a slam dunk. Gabriel Leo will get down. Orn Holty does not amount to anything as P-Clay will secure that Drake for themselves. But now they are running for the hills right here. Overrush died before any fight even began. Yes, I've been Jarvan there. Just the ranges don't connect and you just feel really sad, but that's okay. That will be Drake Soul going over to Rising Tide in that fight. The TP does not really work out for Gabriel Leo.
No, sort of just gets soloed out there by the Darius, right? And I think when you're a damage threat, I don't know if you really want to be the one face checking the Darius, who has Swifties, who has Ghost, to just sort of run you down when you don't have any mobility in your kit.
Yeah, no mobility in the kit. And actually, when you look at the gold right here, it is still a lead for Stun, but it does not feel like it because Overrush is massive right here, and the team is playing reasonably well enough to keep him alive in these fights if he doesn't just get himself killed at the very least.
Has done that a couple times here in these past couple fights, but Baron's spending up here in just under 40 seconds. They do have the Soul. The Peaks is up towards this bottom side of the map here, clearing out that bot wave, probably trying to finish up an item here. They should be ready for this next fight.
He's not really close to any sort of item. He does have that component right there. Yeah, he's just getting gold for, getting the wave in a better position for themselves, which is not so bad. Poppy is pretty fast, can get around the map reasonably quickly, so not too bad for him as he now is able to get there, but they are still not in an ideal position. But P-Clay may have found an opportunity right here, picking out Savvy right here. Stun is going to go down. This Rel is not going to get taken away. Is tanky enough to survive the onslaught there. Overrush was not able to approach and get those free firing auto attacks. With P-Clay going to keep popping that steadfast presence, keep looking for those opportunities, but we'll have to see if he can find them. Baron is up right now. P-Clay looking to just position right here, potentially finding Gabriel Leo right now. Is going to get a dash right in, but there's no damage to follow up as the Sorelios will just help the rest of Rising Tide escape. But now in the mid lane right here, it is 5v5, a standoff for all standoffs right here. Two cowboys at sundown right here.
It's low morning. They're getting ready to roll.
I guess it's Cowboys at sundown. No, absolutely not. Cowboys at noon, stand it off, waiting for the sun to cross that center of the sky. But we'll see what can happen right here, staring each other down in the mid lane. Just such a tense position for both of these teams.
It is pretty scary. And him respawning though, so they're going to lose that pressure point in the mid lane very, very soon. But whoever wins this next standoff, I'm pretty sure can just end the game.
Yeah, the whole game could be riding on this next fight. The Elder Drake will be up in about 250 right here, but I do not think this game will go on for that long, all things considered. Is now made an OP, gets stunned, and Overrush gets a little bit of damage, but not nearly enough to force the Ornn to back out. As the positioning around this Baron continues, this intense standoff, but the waves are honestly in a better spot for Stun. eventually Rising Tide will have to go send those back to their opposition. But this is not the time to do that. Okay, the line of scrimmage has been broken. Rising Tide break away as Stunned look to just keep the mid lane moving.
And we do see Gervs just trying to match. You said the wave was in topside was not in a great position, and it's not. They have to match that. They have to try and shove that in, but they catch Odysseus.
No, Odysseus does not have a warding buddy and will be friendless and lifeless here on the Rift because of that. Now Maiden is going to just try and zone her out right here. As Peaklay's going to walk forward. Overrush going to be looking to shred right now. Infermark's going to get on back. Obliterates that front line, but Odysseus is already dead. I don't know who I'm talking about right here. Eureka is going to be getting some apprehends, getting some damage onto the backside. It's now Overrush with Peaklay and all of his friends will do so much damage right here. Gabriel is going to do what they can, but Overrush flashes forward, just get those auto attacks and slamming him down. Eureka has an incredible flank to keep Rising Tide alive, and they will almost certainly close out this game.
They are winning with a gold deficit. They are down 1,000 gold, but they're looking to end the game right here, right now. Carries aren't up for another 20 seconds. They should be able to win this game off this next wave. It's going to be a little close, though. Jinx is going to be up, has the Death Rocket available as well on spawn.
Yeah, they have to keep these minions alive here, but they almost certainly will.
10
seconds right now, but this Kog'Maw is huge. He is angry. He is furious. He's spitting bars right now. That Kog'Maw is picking up plus 50 for himself. They don't even end with a gold lead as Rising Tide close out game 2.
They close out game 2 while being down gold. They were on the rope, so they were able to bring it back, relying on Overrush and huge flanks from Eureka, who was the one dealing with these carries who were separated from one another, right? You never saw a fight in this late game where both Jinx and Victor were together. One of them was caught out on the side by Eureka alone and ended up just getting taken down. Huge win here for Rising Tide.
Yeah, it was just huge win right there. It was really well executed, all things considered, for Stun throughout most of this game. But man, the pressure that Kog'Maw applies, that's that sort of late game win condition. It is so dangerous here. You have to play perfectly around him. And the Zilean, you know, they got that Kog'Maw stuck in the cage, but it didn't matter because Zilean was there.
He's back, baby. Back and alive.
Yeah, you gotta kill him twice, and they were not really able to. I'd also like to point out that Cog did sell the QSS at the end, before the end of the game. Even he kind of knew the QSS was cope.
It doesn't really do anything here, guys.
So, yeah, at the end of the day, just like great positioning there from Overrush, great team fighting there. Eureka as well. All of those flanks, all those opportunities that he found on the Darius was rather insane. Kind of illegal in many ways, to be quite honest.
Without TP,
man,
that is insane.
Just really well executed from Rising Tide.
And I mean, we're going to be able to see if Rising Tide will just sweep the series or if Stunned are going to be able to make it one, as we'll be back in just a little bit as we get ready for game number 3 of the night. We'll be right back.
Cause when you go under, you never go back up. Mama keeps ever saying never going up. Cause when you go under, you never go back up. Hey, what you say, wanna find a place to play? Hey, what you say, wanna find a place to play? Slide, shake your bones up if you wanna ride. Throw your head back, make you feel alive. The kind of bad that make you feel good. The kind of wrong that make you feel right. The little death that make you feel alive. The kind of spin that means you should. Slide, shake your bones up if you wanna ride. Throw your head back, make you feel alive. The kind of bad that make you feel good. The kind of wrong that make you feel right. The little death that make you feel alive. The kind of spin that means you should.
I declare war on anybody standing in the way of what I dream for. How could you ignore the ones that are voiceless, scream from the poor? They only hear the score. I do it for the underground kings that don't need more. I'm kicking down your door. If I wonder why you got a pocket full of green for, it's all about the get back. It's hard to give back while the politicians kick back. They say I'm only brick rap. Well, that's the foundation of this mountain that I live at. I can get you kidnapped. These kids ain't playing with you, acting like you live rap. And all those little mishaps that only happen to you misfits, I'm here to fix that, yeah.
Time to dig up your grave, make you lower your voice.
Welcome everybody here for our game 3 of the series between Rising Tide Typhoon and Stunned Gaming Cosmic. Rising Tide, they are they haven't won yet. 2-0 on the series right here on match point. Stunned Gaming looking for the reverse sweep, and they've found Maokai. Now,
Press the Maokai button.
Now, as much as I love Maokai, I was not super impressed with how Infomark played the champion, personally. As a Maokai enthusiast myself, I feel like could have played some fights a little bit better, but still a good, solid champion, and it's something Peakley plays as well. So taking that away will free up some opportunities, but the Lilia is actually on the table right now as they swapped out the Lilia ban for the Kog'Maw instead. They don't want to play it themselves, so no reason to leave it on the table.
Emilio's been left up, actually. So they're just going to opt into Zyra Khan instead, grab up their bot lane, so this does give the Stun the option to grab their bot lane in response. They see every piece on the table there.
Yeah, every piece is able to be seen right here. So Zyra Khan getting picked up, a really solid bot lane combo, and if her Overrush can perform like they did in the last game, this Xayah is going to be an absolute menace.
Completely agree with you there. It's going to be a Twitch, most likely Emilio to follow it.
Yeah, Twitch will be locked in there, and you said potential Emilio will be locked in next. I'm not sure. They definitely can go for it because Emilio is just like a good champion, but I'm unsure if Savvy plays it. I guess I could check that real quick before they lock in. If they lock in while I'm checking. Oh, Savvy is on the. Come on, bust it out. Bust it out. Don't be a coward.
Coward,
So,
we're going for the Lulu.
I don't know if you just looked at Savvy's recent games and saw 100,000 Rek'Sai support games.
See, that would have been fun.
That would have been pretty hype. Honestly, I've played with Rek'Sai support.
Rek'Sai.
Not Rek'Sai.
Bel'Veth.
Bel'Veth support. Excuse me. Malcolm Graves getting locked in for Peakley looking to style on Stunned right here. They're going to unleash him. They're 2-0 up right now. They're going to let Peakley have a little bit of fun this game. I'm excited to see what he'll do with that, and hopefully it's not int, which could happen. But I'm going to be optimistic today rather than pessimistic about Peakley's Graves opportunity here. But Bel'Veth support is something I've played with. It's unironically really good. Like it seems troll because it kind of is until you're actually like playing with it and you see Bel'Veth hit her buttons in bot lane and you're like, oh, okay, no, I kind of get it.
I want you to run me through how this works because I am not a believer.
So Bel'Veth can. What you do is you don't build any damage items. You build items that sort of just let you survive, and PTA. So you can really easily pop PTA to allow your AD carry to do a ton of damage. And because you have your percent damage reduction, with your slappy move, I think it's her E.
Yep.
You are able to tank just so much when you have that active. It's sort of like, Leona W in that way. She dips forward, she can dip forward, hit W, and then dip away. She has ways in, ways out. She can find a ton of different angles, and most importantly, when you roam up to get Herald, you just win. You just win bot lane instantly when you have picked up the Herald on Bel'Veth. So it is definitely not like something you'd pick all the time, but I've been really impressed watching it. But, talking about Bel'Veth support, try it in solo queue, everyone. Make sure, try it responsibly. Don't just like pick it randomly. Try it with some friends. Maybe you're pre-made at a scrim. But I definitely, recommend it. In this draft right here, we have R4 Malphite, and that is the end of the game.
Woo! That is what we're seeing here. Oh, Yorick!
Stunned Maiden OP. It's playing Yorick.
Makes sense.
this is something that, you know, their name indicates is something they like. They play it a lot in solo queue. They have a good win rate on it in solo queue. Backs against the wall. Fate of the world is on the line. Give me Yorick. Maiden OP is looking to make a statement this game, put the game on their back, and bring Stunned to a game 4. But the Wukong will be closed out, and Rising Tide have just secured a very cut and dry composition here, something you'll see every day of the week, almost. Although very much. Malphite?
Malphite, Graves, and Wukong is either top or jungle. That is 100% certain.
Yes.
Oh, we'll find out in just a second. Oh my god.
Yeah, Rising Tide, I will say, have drafted no magic resist. So that's, like, not ideal. We'll just have to see if that's something that can even be really exploited, because the only real front line is the Maokai right here, for the side of Stunned. I mean, you can pick up armor on the Lulu, on the Cassio, on the Yorick, but it's not really going to help you a whole lot if everybody's shredding you. So honestly, like, man, it's kind of funky. You pointed out that they kind of don't have a mid laner. I was like, oh yeah, this is a normal team composition. And then I took a second look at it, and it is a little funky. Both these teams are a little funky. So what can we kind of expect?
I would suspect that the Wukong actually would fare... Either the Wukong or Graves fares fairly decently into the York, because, you know, Graves' good wave clear should be able to deal with the ghouls, but Wukong as well can also just avoid the entirety of that trade pattern by using W to dash away and having those, you know, ghouls aggro onto the clone, and, you know, Wukong just whack on Yorick, just smack him a bunch with the big old monk stick. And I think Malphite, as long as he just goes 3 points Q, can just sort of deal with the Cassio, not really win, but, you know, go a little behind, lose lane gracefully.
Yeah, lose lane gracefully. It's one of those things that it's sometimes hard to do, but you know, it's a skill, it's a talent, something you gotta really put work into, properly losing. So I guess looking at these two comps here in the game 3, you know, no mental fortitudes, no broken mentals on the table here. If this was just, you know, a game 1 situation, which comp would you prefer here right now?
I just think Split Push is not in a great enough state for, you know, me to say that's done to have this game, because otherwise I like all the other components, but I just think if they had, you know, another way into these fights apart from just the Maokai, I think they'd have a great shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I love the first 4 champions that Stunned has, and then the Yorick's there, and I get why they picked the Yorick. Back against the wall, your org has gone, Oath has been 3-0'd in finals twice before today. You do not want to be another statistic. You want to win a game. And Maiden OP has decided, I want to win. I'm confident.
Give me Yorick.
I believe in myself. I'm going to split to win. Want to see if that gamble will pay off for him. I'm not sure it will, but anything's possible. This is the VAS after all. Anything can happen. So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and go to a quick break. When we come back, we will be in Game 3, potentially our final game of the night if Rising Tide closes it out. But if Stun gets their match, they will be able to move into a Game 4 and start the reverse sweep. So, we'll see who gets the upper hand in this game and who can close it out when we come back after our wonderful quick break.
In this gothic underground city, we all sin. If I bring a couple rounds with me, then we all win. I came back and brought the crown with me. The kings can't break your nexus and your neck, cause everybody's on your head. I like back then. Talk back till I snap back. This ain't brown, this that dark black. This that pitch black, jet black. Snap your ex, watch me give them flashbacks.
Pressure's rising fast as lightning, they can't stop it now. If you ain't talking realness, then just change the topic now. They laughing at the top like they can't see the bottom. And they thought I needed help, but I got here without them. I am sharper than a pack of 100 razor blades. When the smoke clears out of here, but they name gon' fade. I'ma be here doing it my way. They said I should change it up, but what did I say?
Ooh, yeah, you mad, I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you a sweater, sun shining. Ooh, yeah, you mad, I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you a sweater, sun shining.
Hold still, while I back then. Talk back till I snap back. This ain't brown, this that dark black. This that pitch black, jet black. Snap your ex, watch me give them flashbacks.
I get that magic all on me, I feel like I'm Tracy McGrady. Enemy circle around me 360, I count them with 8. I've been equipped with the spirit beside me since I was a baby. It's getting chaotic, I made me a product for causing the chaos. Right, you ain't ready. This gothic underground city, we all sin. If I bring a couple rounds with me, then we all win. I came back and brought the crown with me. The king's dead, break your necklace and your neck, cause everybody's on your head.
Ooh, yeah, you mad, I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you a sweater, sun shining. Ooh, yeah, you mad, I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you a sweater, sun shining. Wish I could not get scorned, but I'm rising above it. Know you crush it and burn it. God knows you didn't earn it. My friend Karma's a bitch. She's got some lessons you learned. You're a snake, I can see it in your face.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our fantastic VAS finals. The grand finals here. P Clay is finding Maiden right here. Just saying hello. Everyone is saying hello to each other. friendly greetings, shaking your hands before the game starts. It's called good sportsmanship, ladies and gentlemen. That aside, we're here on our last game here, and once again, Savvy opting out of the pots for a control ward on the blue buff.
Yep.
Interesting selection right now, but maybe it'll amount to something. Oh my, the late invade from Peakley to get a ward out with this vision play right here going on right now is radical. This is wild.
Oh, wait. The control ward pays off. Maiden got a ward.
Wait, that's actually kind of huge though. That's actually huge for the Yorick though. Wait a minute. Oh boy.
Unironically huge.
Oh boy. What? That was kind of a bizarre start. It is just everybody saying hello, dropping wards, killing wards, control wards existing. It's just kind of like, wow, that's something. So yeah,
It's a little something. But
it's a little something.
Eureka has to be a little careful knowing that Maiden's going to hit, level 2 off first wave now.
Yeah, Eureka's gonna hit level 2 off of the first wave, but that actually looks like Maiden is going, or Maiden would hit level 2 off the first
Yeah,
wave. Maiden's getting kind of pushed in here, so not really an advantage right now, as Eureka in fact hit level 2 first. So the ward ended up not paying off in the end because Maiden's kind of having a little bit of trouble getting up to actually hit those minions without losing too much from the trades. The crushing blows from Wukong are very strong, and you do not want to take too many of those. But here, this is a mid lane matchup that I don't think I've really ever seen. And have you seen this? Have you seen
Not
the
really.
Malphite Cassio match? Honestly, I feel like you'd see this in top more than you'd see
Yeah.
it in mid lane. But either way, what do you think we can kind of expect from the Malphite in the mid here?
I just think the Malphite's just going to try and chunk out a little bit here, but Eureka actually taking a little bit of bad trade.
Ooh. Dipping out from the cage, stays alive there, ever so slightly. Does have to recall right there, but the wave's in a decent spot. Odysseus diving in, getting a knock up, but nothing else is going to amount from it. As Risky's going to go forward with the stealth and a shield on them. Just kind of little bits of poke going here and there. The trades are happening, and some of them are even close to, like, being even a little bit lethal, a little bit dangerous, but it's all very, very reserved.
Nothing too crazy. Malphite is going to be a little chunked, but the Cassio is chunked as well. Those, little cheese wheels doing a good chunk of damage, as you can see. Gervs just walks up, tosses one out, and walks back.
Yeah, chucking out the cheese wheels. You throw one, you just walk away. You throw another, you walk away. That's why I love Malphite. He is a very good champion at just, staying alive right here. As long as he is not just getting shredded by the fangs from Cassio, he can survive pretty reasonably here. And okay, Gervs is hanging out. Peakley is there in the mid lane as well, trying to go down for this bot scuttle, but it looks like Infermark will be able to secure it for himself. It's just going to be a flat clear for both junglers right now, as there's not a whole lot going on, but Peakley going to be attempting to use Graves' biggest strength in this early game, which is, of course, counter jungling and counter invading across the map.
We do see him going over the wall. He wants those Kruggies.
Yeah, but he does have vision on him, and they know that this is going to happen, but Peakley has to wait for the dash to even get out, but he's able to, as they aren't able to convert fast enough on to Peakley there. He's able to get his dash back up. He doesn't get the Krugs. He got a minion in the mid lane. That's why he is one up from where he should be. So, the Krugs are secured. The Krugs are safe. As Peakley simply walks away.
Is able to just walk away, and it's just no action in this game. And, it is on Stun to just play safe, get their gold, and try and win this game clinically. Whereas, Rising Tide Typhoon have a little bit more time to have some more fun with it. We see some wacky picks coming out, like the Wukong top, Malphite in mid, and then, all that kind of jazz popping out here.
Yeah, and all that jazz includes this Drake going over to Peakley, as Overrush and Odysseus win out in the early landing phase, and Peakley is able to just help them secure that first Drake. Going down pretty early, all things considered, and that's just going to be a Cloud Drake going over to them, as now there's a trade in the mid lane, and GurBs is actually doing quite a bit of damage, but the damage gets traded back after those brutal spikes wear off.
And it's going to be, Cassio sort of just slowly winning out on this lane as expected. But Infomark waiting here in the wings. GurBs has flash, has ultimate available. And it's just trying to poke away here.
Oh, just trying to poke a little bit, bits and pieces here for GurBs. Just take a Q every now and then. But the CS deficit is starting to accelerate quite a lot for this mid lane matchup as Cassio gets more and more of these minions, gets more and more taken out from Malphite. Malphite struggles in this matchup. But all he kind of really needs to do is survive. He's picked up the Mercury Treads as his first item. Very interesting. A lot of interesting things. I'm not sure necessarily what to really say about the Merc Treads. I kind of like it, but it's fine. Honestly, I kind of want more AP, TBH. Maybe it's just because I'm greedy. I want to giggle. I want to
funny number.
I want to have a laugh. I want to see Malphite just one-shot Cassiopeia, but I know logically, nah, you want the MR. It's just better for laning. You won't get killed as quickly, even if it's less entertaining for us and the audience. But Peakley may be trying to find an engage here. And, he gets the Gromp, but what is he going to lose in response? Or who's going to be lost right here is now Maiden is going to get caught out by the long-range roam from Odysseus. But now we have Gabriel Leo flashing over the wall. He's going to get down onto Peakley, defanging the Graves. But the Petrifying Gaze stops 3 as Gabriel Leo will still get flashed on and finished off. Now Infomark's going to have to try and escape right here. He's going to Twisted Advance to just try and get some more damage down, get some more healing from his passive, and just try and survive. But Eureka will finish him off, but Risky has arrived, Savvy has arrived, and they're going to force the other members of Rising Tide back. But in that invade, it actually goes well for Rising Tide.
And, we usually say that, Wukong getting Sunder is, probably the best champion in the game. That one item spike is so insane. He's already well on the way to that. Already finishing 2 components, already 39 stacks left on that call. And look at Isaiah just whacking away at that tower. It's going to be, just 30 gold behind, so even though Twitch got a kill, losing out a lot of XP, to be fair.
Yeah, but since bot lane is mid lane, you might as well just look for this Herald, and that will be what Stunned are going to go for right here. They decide, well, might as well make the most of our opportunity right now, but that is going to be a little bit of solo EXP going over to Overrush right now. Is level 6 right there, but I guess so is Savvy, so not too huge of a loss right there. The biggest loss is that they do drop the Herald, so that is something to look forward to for Infomark, as that is going to be a good influx of gold in for a carry in this game.
Any carry is a good carry at this point. They really do need to try and get online. They are down 1,000 gold already 9 minutes into the game. They're in a little bit of a rough spot, right? CS deficits happening quite a bit, plate deficits as well. But so far, nothing too crazy going on. Maiden just trying to farm up, but, this lane has gotten a little rougher because Eureka just got so much gold off of that play in the jungle there, in that invade. And they need to try and find a pressure point to just stay in the game right now, but I'm pretty sure it's not Eureka.
Yeah, it might not be Eureka as the point that, wants to be targeted here. We'll have to see what Stunned are going to do to try and pull this one back around. At the very least, Gabriel Leo's not doing so bad. Risky is down in gold, but is getting closer to those item spikes here. It looks like it's going to be the Storm Razor once again for this crit AD carry. Xayah does have the BF sword. Could be a number of things. It might end up just being the Quick Blades on the Xayah. Unsure exactly what she goes on this patch, if she still goes for Quick Blades or if she goes for something different. I guess I have not really seen the champion that much and really, I guess, paid attention to what she's building, because This is not the when you're playing against the Xayah, you're not really thinking about it. You know, right now I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about this potential fight right here as the Herald gets dropped, but Odysseus is going to be looking for something. Nature's Grasp will go out to stop Gerbs, but Odysseus has found an opportunity to get a knock-up right there. Gerbs, holding on to the unstoppable force, decides it's not worth burning. Herald will crash into a turret, get 2 plates, but that is it for the side of Stun.
And, you know, Dragon Move starting up here for the side of Rising Tide. They're going to be able to grab that one up nice and easy. Lemon Squeeze, not really all that much that the side of Stun are able to do. They did have to use that Nature's Grasp to disengage that fight on the bot side. But at the same time, you know, at the very least, they got something top, right? Top is down a good chunk of plates here for the side of Eureka, but he does have those 2 kills, which does, you know, put him in a good standing here when it comes to that gold department. But we can see how many red wards are littered around that bot side jungle towards that river and into the enemy jungle. So they were ready to roll, but Peek's going over.
Yeah, Peek's going over the wall, looking to try and get something there. Gerbs is there as well. That's going to be unstoppable.
Oh no, the flash!
Catches him off of the flash. The great big growth goes on to Risky, but will not be enough to keep the Twitch alive. Flash gets burned, but the unstoppable force is just the hitbox is just a little too big. Yeah, it didn't flash far enough.
Quite large. Does in fact land. That was a good ultimate, and unfortunately a fail fly from Risky means he does get caught out. He has to burn everything, still can't make it out alive. Heal was even burned by Savvy. Same with the Wild Growth that just couldn't find the angle, couldn't find the kill. But, you know, Gerbs, on the other hand, playing amazingly on this Malphite. Down 8 CS, 4 assists. Hey, you take that every day of the week as Malphite mid against something like a Cassio.
Yeah, and he is going to be getting onto that tank item sooner rather than later. And he is going to be feeling good once he gets there. Maiden on this Yorick, the signature Yorick pick, is going to actually be in a little bit of danger right here. Eureka gets the Cyclone, gets the crushing blows, gets the flash right now, and now the Maiden, the signature Maiden of Maiden, is going to be a little bit low right now, but does still stay alive right here, so that's something that the Yorick can look forward to having in their pocket. Is Eureka taking quite a bit of damage right there, as now Peeklay going to be trying to go for a potential dive with Odysseus, but Infomark stops that with the Nature's Grasp. And on the bot side, we have the matchup continuing as Overrush has potentially found Risky. The Root's going to come down. The Feather's going to get pulled through the Rat, but the Rat will stay alive. Odysseus goes for the dive, gets the charm with the flash, and that is an excessive blast going into the back of the Rat right there as Peeklay picks up that kill.
The Rat, unfortunately, just not able to convert on the kill. Does end up falling. Peeklay sitting at 3-1-0, 300 gold. Bounty set on his head. He's popping off this game. Already finished that Yomu's. So again, one of the strongest items in the game. Ready to roll here. Hasn't really been touched just yet. I'm pretty sure it's still... Yeah, nope. It's still at that super strong point. Hasn't been nerfed yet. That's coming next patch.
Yeah, nope. There was no Yomu's hotfix, even though it probably needed it. It's all right. You know, we wait for next patch and we try again on these lethality items. Yomu's is very strong right now, and it is definitely very good for Graves. And in this situation, Peeklay, this is the kind of comfort zone for Peeklay, you know? He's getting the opportunity to carry, and he's going to make the most of it. You know, he got put on Maokai duty last week because the game's got a little tough for them. But this week, he's feeling good, he's feeling confident, he's ready to put on a show for his team and for us here in the audience. But we'll see what Stun can do to try and stop that snowball from converting into anything here, as we are still only around 2.6k up for Rising Tide. But man, these item spikes are being hit so much faster for Rising Tide. It's going to be hard to win any fights.
We see a lot of first item spikes coming in here for the side of Rising Tide, right? Divine Sunder on Eureka. Peeklay's got that Yomu's like we mentioned earlier, but Gale Force being picked up here for Overrush. You know, in a pretty decent spot, having that good old Gale Force ready to go.
Yeah, the one-shot button. Gale Force did get some damage buffs, while our people argued that, you know, me included, that the damage on Gale Force is not really worth it considering how much you lost for it. No, as it turns out, being able to not only have that movement ability on a 70-second cooldown, but also the ability to just kill someone with the damage there is always worth it. So Gale Force is a pretty decent starting mythic if you want to rush your mythic instead of going for something else like the Storm Razor first. But looks like Rising Tide are going to be dropping it, are going to be in a little bit of a fight right here around the Herald. As Infomark's going to look to steal it. Will get stolen by the Casio, but she's going to be in a little bit of danger right now. The Feather Storm will go out, but it won't be ripping into anybody right now. But Infomark is going to get the one getting ripped into as the Feathers poke him down, and the brutal slap from Gerbs finishes the job.
Thunderclap comes in, and they're ready to roll right towards that dragon as well. They get the pick on Infomark. They can instantly move towards that dragon pit because, again, jungler being down, 7 seconds on this mountain, it's going to take a while to kill, but it takes a while for Mark to respawn. They can grab this one up, and they still have vision prepped as well. We can see which objectives prioritized on either side. Red side wanted that dragon, while blue side really, really wanted the herald. They were able to get it, but they did do so at the cost of their jungler, which does mean they give up the mountain dragon, so that's 3 dragons in the back pocket here for the side of Rising Tide Typhoon.
Yeah, this is going to be the first Mountain Drake as well. Mountain Soul would be huge. And now Eureka actually could be in a little bit of danger right now as Maiden is finding an opportunity to get that split push rolling. Has the Triforce. This is a little bit of an enhanced Triforce going on right now. As now Gabriel Leo could be in a bit of danger right here. Does get the Miasma. Gets a good Petrifying Gaze as Gerbs does not have the Unstoppable Force to make sure they can secure that. And Gabriel Leo will keep themselves alive right here. As a little bit of damage going in onto Overrush is risky. Just trying to fire out and do what they can into this Xayah. But Rakan is there to keep them safe.
But Maiden actually doing a good job, you know, was earlier losing this lane, but was able to pick up some plates, was able to pick up some gold with these towers. But this Gerbs is just not here.
Okay.
Ooh, it's not enough.
The Fangs are not enough to keep Gerbs down. So at the end of the day, it's fine. It's okay if you are Gerbs here. You do stay alive right here, but this is going to be a turret going over to Gabriel Leo. In all things considered, they have a lead in terms of structures, so Stunned does have that little extra point of pressure they can utilize in the later stages of the game.
So it is up to them to use the structure advantage, to use this lack of vision in these lanes to try and make something happen. They can get in these jungle corridors a lot more easily than they would be able to if those towers were still standing. So they have the opportunity to look for these weird flanks because vision shouldn't be placed there just yet. But Peakley walking up here, they want to try and secure this tier 1 mid, but Mark doesn't want that to happen either.
Yeah, Mark does not want them to get that tier 1 in mid, because mid is a very important tier 1. Now there's going to be another fight on the top side. Cyclone's getting burned, but Maiden is still alive, and Maiden are looking to just try and get a lot of damage right down. But Eureka has so much with the Crushing Blow. Is going to flash forward, going to dip in, and going to get the Crushing Blow down on the Maiden and the Maiden, who are both going to perish. But in the mid lane, we do have a fight going out as Infomark's going to take quite a bit of damage right here. As the top side, we do have the Wukong going down to the Casio, but Gerbs will be picking up Int for Mark in the mid lane. The Maokai will be going down. No further support. The Casio TP'd top to avenge the top laner. But in the mid lane, that just turns into a one fight and a killed structure for Rising Tide.
And they move right down towards the bot side. If they are able to push this next wave, they should be able to grab the tower as well. They knew that Casio went to TP top. They killed top lane, yes, but they are going to lose 2 structures and a kill. So overall, a net win for Rising Tide Typhoon. They also have great vision control too. So whatever happens, they should be A-okay to just hit this tower and get it done.
Yeah, they can clear out the structure, and they will get themselves a little bit of a structure advantage here. Get some positioning, some advantages they can use in terms of vision as the game goes on. We have a minute until this first Baron. However, I don't think either team is really in a great spot to just shred it. If anyone will do it, it'll be Rising Tide, but I'm not even sure if they'll be able to do it fast enough before Stunned would be able to respond appropriately. And, you know, with all the Baron reduced resistances, it gets a little risky. Here comes the Shurelias from Odysseus as they look to just try and stop the Herald, but they are not able to. It will secure the mid lane turret, which is perfectly fine. You take that if you are stunned. You accept that. You know, at least it's not you're losing EXP from the second Herald. But it was better than nothing.
Eureka sitting on 2 items here versus Maiden, who is building towards that Hullbreaker. Should be able to complete that one quite soon. You know, is sitting on some good gold, 600 in the back pocket.
Baron sneak going out. from Rising Tide. It is being suspected. The bait ping is dropped. It's only at 6,000. Here comes Infomark. He's going to be walking in. Baron is going to be at 3,000. 2,000 right now. Infomark's going to be going in. The Smite window is here. Peaklay will secure it. Now the fight's going to break out. Odysseus gets on the backside, and the Cyclone is good too, blowing away the back line of Stun Gaming as Eureka finishes off the Snake, and then once more Infomark dies, and now Maiden OP on their signature Yorick pick has nothing to do in this situation, will simply perish with their beloved Maiden and fall to a clean ace from Rising Tide.
Baron buff was also collected here by the side of Rising Tide after a huge fight win. They're able to push down these towers, get something done, and look, Eureka also ready on the top side to capitalize, get that top tier 1 down. That has been a little bit of a struggle here for the first little bit of the game, but now 21 minutes in, they're able to grab all these outer towers, move down towards these inner towers, and get things rolling, and probably just end the game in the next little bit. They are up so much gold, about 8k.
This is probably not looking good right now if you are stunned, but this is
your, as well.
This is your last chance. This is your last dance. You got to make the most of it. Infomark does have flash. He's got to try and save the game here, but will he be able to do it? He goes over the wall. He gets there. He just has to land the smite. He does! Peaklay drops the smite too early, and Infomark finishes it off with the smite. No, I don't even know.
I don't think he had it.
It was at 4 there. It was at 4 HP. Man, that was a close one.
That was a nail biter.
Infomark does in fact int, but it was a successful int. So at the end of the day,
failed successfully.
You take what you can get in all chat. Hashtag worth. Infomark knows that he just bought his team a little bit more time, but will the time be more than enough? Will the time be enough? Will they have enough time to live and survive and get the gold they need? Or will they simply perish like dogs underneath their turret? As the Miasma will stop Peaklay from going any further, and Maiden is losing every single fight in this 1v1, does not have the Hull Breaker quite yet, cannot survive. It is so rough for the side of Stunned as the siege continues.
Oh, things are looking a little rough here for Stun. They were able to buy some time. Mark just cannot help defend this tower. It is going to go down, and they're just barreling forward here. In they go.
Yeah, here comes the engage right now. The double knockups from the side of Rising Tide. The Petrifying Gaze is decent, but it's not enough. Nature's Grasp will go out and do a whole lot of nothing in this bot lane kerfuffle. Gabriel Leo will be the only person picked off, so Infomark still has to walk away. Chunked out, incredibly useless right here on the Maokai pick, as the siege once again is going to be lethal, going to be critical in this bot side of the map, as they will crack that bot inhibitor turret, crack the inhib, and get out without a scratch.
Baron buff has just worn off as well, so they're ready to just roll on back, say, hey, we're good to go. Objectives are up in just over 3 minutes here. We want this soul. The soul is going to be what matters the most, but we could always use that Baron as some bait as well. Now they just want to prep some vision, get things rolling, and, you know, maybe collect a tower if someone oversteps.
Yeah, but right now it looks like without the Baron, the siege is going to be a little bit more difficult for them to do. Cassio is kind of hard to, you know, crack it. The Cassio has good wave clear. The Twitch has pretty good wave clear as well. So it is going to be a little bit hard to siege right now. So they're going to have to likely wait for this next Baron, which is going to be in about 2 minutes. The Mountain Drake as well. It's going to be in about 2 minutes. And honestly, if you're Rising Tide, you absolutely just go for the Baron. You do not care about the Drake. I feel like this is the one opportunity where it's like, yeah, you know, just go for the Baron. You can probably win off of it if you get a good enough fight with the objective. But, you know, I guess it's kind of, you know, an LCK maneuver there, you know, trading soul for Baron.
That is the region that would do so the best, but right now, you know, we see Vision prepared. It's defensive vision coming out here from the side of Stun, because they know that if they get caught out, this could just be game over. One pick could spell their doom. They need to be ready. They need to be vigilant, and they need to be aware of what could happen. So topside is where it's at, right? Baron coming up in 1 minute and 22 seconds. Soul coming up in 1 minute 30.
Yeah, and Eureka is a full item up on this Yorick right now. Hullbreaker was finished right here, but Eureka is huge, is fully stacked on this Ravenous Hydra, and is going to absolutely obliterate everyone in the game. The Nature's Grasp is decent, but it is not going to be enough unless Infermark can escape. Gets the Twisted Advance out to just try and buy a little bit more time, but the time is not enough as Eureka has so much mobility and is able to just crack down this tree, chopping him into little pieces. And it is just not great here as the Baron is coming up.
50 seconds.
That is going to be, with no Junkler alive, and even when Infermark gets back, he won't have the Nature's Grasp. So it is going to be quite difficult for them to look at this Baron right here. They have no pressure. They have no vision. They have very little gold, almost 10k down now behind Rising Tide. In the deciding game of the series, if Rising Tide closes this out, this is it. If Stunned do not win here, their season is over. They fall at the finish line to Rising Tide.
They're trying their hardest out to not beat that statistic that you did mention, right? Being 3-0'd in finals has been a thing that they've done. So they really want to try and not let that happen again, but Dragon up here in 7 seconds. Cassio is ready here towards that top side. Baron is up already, but they're just saying, hey, we're going to get the soul. We can probably just win the fight towards that top side of the map as well. Piclay solo this.
Yeah, Piclay is just going to solo this Drake. He is not particularly concerned about anybody else on the map right now. He is huge. He has the Black Cleaver. He has the Blood Bow for himself, so he's feeling okay. And Maiden is going to get picked out right here. It's just going to be an easy little 1-2 maneuver right now. Flash will get blown, but it is not enough right there, as the Unstoppable Force is quite unstoppable, and Maiden OP is rather stoppable himself. In this top lane, that is just going to be a pick into the Baron. Soul plus Baron plus L plus ratio plus your season is in shambles.
After performing so well during the regular split, we're going 6-1. They're going to lose at the finish line. They had some great series, but things are looking, they are on the back burner. They need to try and get something rolling, but they just can't do so. They are behind so much gold, 11,000 in the hole.
Yeah, the only real hope they have is, like, the theoretical hope is, like, they can maybe get, like, a split push going, but Maiden can't do anything into Eureka. Eureka just checks him at every corner, even with the Maiden up, even with the Hullbreaker. The Wukong is just so unbelievably strong that there's just nothing that he can really do. So there's no split push, there's no team fight, and they are now 13k gold down. So things are looking pretty dire, but it's not over until the Nexus explodes. We'll see what can happen right here. As Gabriel Leo's going to be aggressing a little bit forward, but he's going to get
going in
for Odysseus. Odysseus not going to get the knockup right here. The Nature's Grap's going to go down. No. And Odysseus has fumbled the bag, but that is still going to be 2 inhibitors cracked. The third is on the table right now. Will go down, as this could be, the trumpets are singing, you know, heralding the end of Stun Gaming series. But they have, you know, they've got 5 still. They do still have 5. But it's not
going in.
Gabriel Leo's going to get caught by the Unstoppable Force. The Petrifying Gaze is great, but it's not going to be enough. It's now Risky is going to be in a lot of danger. Eureka is going to go back, and he's actually going to be shut down by the Twitch. Now Maiden going to be just forcing the rest of them off. 3 inhibs down, but each of these plays are not converting for Rising Tide. Infermark has gone into Piclay. Now Piclay could be the next on the bill to be going down. The Featherstorm goes through. The Rip will not pull back, holding on to it in case there is any further assault. The Rip will go through, but will not root anyone as Infermark stays alive. And the base remains barely intact for the side of Stun.
Oh boy, they're not out yet. They were able to pick up a couple shutdowns, but they're still on the ropes. They are stuck in the corner. They need to try and find themselves a way to dig out. They need to put their feet into the ground, just stay tall, stand strong, get something done. But every siege they lose, every fight they lose, a tower will fall. They have very few mistakes left. They have one more major one. Otherwise, the game is just over, if any at all.
Yeah, they have one. They have one last stand, and they have to make the most of it. Gerbs has the unstoppable force. Odysseus has that flash, has the ulti. Peakley has everything in the tank as well, aside from flash. So it is just going to be a brawl right here. As Maiden
Oh
is
no,
going
the towers.
to escape. The towers are falling so quickly, as each hit is so strong from this Graves right here. And the minions, there are so many super minions, each 3 inhibs down. It is so hard to even think about getting a fight. The Nature's Grasp goes out. It does land onto the carries. What can they make of it? They can make nothing, because the Cyclone knocks them away, blows them up, sends them asunder, a wind blown away, as now only Infermark remains. And he will certainly be falling right here to Peakley, as that is another clean ace, a clean sweep for Rising Tide, as they wash away Stun Gaming Cosmic in the grand finals.
Stun Gaming Cosmic going to end the series stun locked here, as they end up losing in their own base. They weren't able to make their stand. They could not get a good fight. They just didn't really have a way in. No footholds. And it's a classic 3-0 for Rising Typhoon.
Yeah, it's just a 3-0 for Rising Tide there. Great work by the team, particularly in game 2. The way they pulled that back, the way they played everything so well around Overrush. And it feels like each member of Rising Tide had their moments to shine in the series. You had those flanks from Eureka in game 2. You had Overrush being an absolute menace in game 2 as well. You had Peakley in game 3 here, along with Eureka, putting in so much work. Gerbs as well on the Malphite, playing incredibly well. And Odysseus, those early roams in this game were the nail in the coffin for Stun Gaming Cosmic. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's just they played so incredibly well, and Stun just didn't have it in them at the end.
No, they sort of unfortunately ran out of gas at the end. They had a great season. Taking a look at the playoff bracket, they were able to make things happen, but unfortunately, they are going to end off at the end, going out with a whisper, going out with a whimper. 3-0 in favor of Rising Tide Typhoon.
Yeah. It is what it is. Finals, sometimes you just aren't able to make it to the end. And I can relate a little bit to Stunned. I'm you. I was you on Monday, so I can feel it. But
At least you brought it to 5 games.
that's fair. That is fair. But that said, man, I'm asking shooting production a question right here. Just because I don't think we did interviews on Monday. I'm just I don't know how to stall. I'm stalling very poorly right
It's
now.
all good. It's all good. But things are looking a little rough here for the side of Stun Gaming. Going out 3-0. But at the very least, Rising Tide Typhoon sweep away the competition, be that Typhoon that they are so named after, and just wreak havoc upon the competition.
Yeah. I think they had a formidable series. They put in an effort in terms of the rest of the season, and their series last week, I feel, was a very good showcase of what the team could do. It's just that, Rising Tide, they are a really good team. There's a reason they've made it to finals in VAS so many times. Just they perform well. They're a unit. They've played with each other. Some of these players have played with each other for, maybe all like a whole year at this point, right? So it's, at least that I've seen, maybe even longer. So, when you have that kind of built up synergy for as long as you've had it, it kind of you kind of make a name for yourself. But I don't think Stun should feel so bad because at the end of the day, you still made it to finals.
They did
That's
make it to
not that's
finals.
something not a lot of other people did. You are the only other finalist aside from Rising Tide. You will still collect your second place prize. So you take what you can get. Obviously, you'd rather win. You know, there could only be one winner, and that was Rising Tide today. So, unfortunately, uh, we are not going to do a winners interview tonight. I know it's going to be upsetting to Rising Tide. You know, just you if you want to talk your opinions, just go to VAS Talk and give your opinions there. Make yourselves known. Post more gifs. But that aside, that's all I've got tonight. You have anything else, Salt?
I mean, thanks for having me. I subbed in. Last minute, I was like, hey, they need someone. I'll be here. And I was here. I got to watch my boy win. Had a good time.
Yeah, good stuff from the team, good stuff from Rising Tide, and good season overall. So this is it. This concludes our Victorious Amateur Series. I have been tonight Becky Rita. Joining me was Salt. And yeah, that's it. So have a great night. Try not to be too upset about not getting a winner's interview. We don't want Peakley to have a heated gamer moment again, like he did during one of his previous winner interviews. So we're just gonna take a sleep. Everybody, enjoy your early night's rest, and come back tomorrow for Victorious Rival Series semifinals. So yeah, see you later.
There's no time for redemption. Those flags you wave, will they hold up? Don't cry for your vengeance. It's right there to take. Oh, if you want it, the world is watching. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. Write your story down. Enter history. Pride and country. You could have everything. So bring home the glory alive. Go and rise for your nation. There's so much at stake. Will you show up? Oh, it's about damn time for a little salvation. Those flags you wave represent them. The world is watching. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. Write your story down. Enter history. Pride and country. You could
want a dose of this right now. It's cake.
Engagement.